we got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy.
Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey, here we are.
Bull dropped the ball.
I did not wear a starter jacket. I don't own a starter jacket.
Starter
Maybe
jacket.
If you guys bought me one, I would wear it. They make them in my. I guess if G. Bush can wear one, I can wear one too. We're similar size.
Bull got all this money. Talk about
tall.
buy me one.
Hey,
Bull, you do
I don't got Jay Crawford money. Let's not get carried away.
You right about that. That's
G. Bush is back. He still feels like crap, but he was able to make it in today.
Man, I had to come in. I had to pull up on y'all, man.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
You was furious?
Yeah, unacceptable. That's just what we're going to say to start with.
Man.
We'll get into it.
You know how you know, like you folks may not know it, but I knew the second G walked in, he still wasn't feeling well. Because usually when he comes in, he's very bubbly. He's very like in a happy mood, a lot of energy. And he came in very like kind of somber today.
Yeah, just low key. You know
sucks.
what I'm saying?
I feel bad. It sucks what you have to go through every.
Well, he's gonna get fired up on this show. So
yeah,
I'll try to bring the energy when they come up.
don't worry.
Yeah. Save it up for the show.
It's gonna come in.
So,
waves.
Guys, let's get to it. We'll get to the Donovan Peoples-Jones and that angle of what the Browns did and didn't do on the trade deadline. But let's begin with what they didn't do. What they didn't do was add any talent. We all hoped they would add a quarterback. We all hoped they would maybe add some other things. We're going to get to that in a second. We got a new game to play on the show today. We'll talk with Darren Urban from Arizona also. Get a little breakdown. The Cardinals coming in. That spread is now 8 points. First, let's go to Mikey McNuggets, who is anxiously waving me over. What's the matter, Mike? We were here for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were diving right into it.
I was kind of diving, but
and I was just making sure you remembered that
I'll
before
pull
we
back
start
on the
any
dive.
topic, and
Yeah.
especially one as big as today's top topic of the Browns not making a move for a quarterback, we got to remind people who brings us that topic. And today's topic, number one on the docket, is brought to us by FanDuel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's number one sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's a $150 in bonus bets. If your team wins any money line, any odds, you win, you get the bonus bets for new customers. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is so easy to use. You can bet on spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to get in on the action. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And you can become the next Inspire, who turned $10 into $258 with a 4-part same-game parlay on the Lakers Kings the other night. He had LeBron over points, De'Aaron Fox over points, over assists for both of those as well. All 4 parts of the parlay hit, and he turned a $10 bet on FanDuel into $260. And you can do it, too, if you're using FanDuel.com.
Hopefully everybody bet the under on everything Cavs because they sucked yesterday. We'll talk about that in overtime. Are we getting concerned about how soft Evan Mobley is? That's all coming up later in the show. But let's dive right into it, guys. Trade deadline out. I know Tyvus is going to say he didn't expect anything, so I'll let you start with that because I know G is like me. I'm pissed off right now. I'm sure he is.
I'm glad.
Go ahead.
So
be calm, if you will.
Anybody that was upset at the trade deadline yesterday, shame on you, because I sat here and I told you that they're not going to make a trade for quarterback because they feel that they can get through what they need to get through until Deshaun comes back. Obviously, Deshaun must be feeling a little bit better, and they must think that they're closer to it, because if they didn't and it was a panic, they would have done so. And I also believe that my boy G. Bush sat up here maybe a couple weeks ago, and he got the feeling that maybe, just maybe, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry might get a pass for this year, because if they must know something, because if they didn't, if they thought that their jobs was on the line this year, it would have been a panic. They would have been like, we got to get somebody in here because we don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun. Even if Deshaun comes back next week, we still got to get through this game, and we still want that insurance policy. But I believe that something must have been said to them, because that was the most passive way, especially in the fact that your quarterback isn't great, but to be passive about it at the trade deadline, you must know you're good for at least another year. That's what I think. What y'all think?
G. Bush, we haven't heard from you since Friday, Sunday actually, post-game.
Yeah,
the floor is yours.
Yeah, listen. What camera I'm on? This one? What is it, 2 or 3?
That one right there.
I've been going so long.
That one right there.
Listen, just like Tyvus said, a lot of times y'all call me the Duke and knee-jerk, but a lot of times my crystal ball is right. At the time, the way I say it may give you a little panic, because when I said a couple weeks ago that there has to be a reason why they're not doing anything, and one of my theories was they've already been guaranteed that they're going to get another year. And all the tea leaves point to the fact that they're going to get another year because they essentially punted on the season again. Like, this is 2 punts in a row. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying it in terms of looking at it from a quarterback perspective, there's no way you can have any sort of confidence that Deshaun Watson is A, going to come back and be his Houston form this year, B, be able to come back and sustain hits and carry out the duties of quarterback, and C, have the ability to stay in the game without being injured further on hits or just throws, period. So if you have all that information at your hands and you also have P.J. Walker and the statistics show that he's turning the ball over at a rapid pace, it's inexcusable for you not to go get another quarterback because you're just telling your fan base that you really don't care about winning. And I told Bull this. I said, we'll see how I'm going to gauge what they do in at this break to see whether or not they really want to win. And when you look at other teams like the 49ers going out and getting Chase Young and giving up assets to go get him, that's what I call trying to go all the way in and win big time. And so for me, I was just disappointed for not only just the people in the locker room. I was just disappointed for the fans because you got to realize they've been selling you this. They've been doing this every single year. They sell you on the fact that this is a Super Bowl team. They sell you on the fact that they're going all in. But right when they get to the doorstep, they leave brides at the altar more than I do. like, for real, like they get you all amped up and excited, and then they just leave you there. You didn't pay for the tuxedos, the rentals.
Well, on another thing is, they got like $34 million in cap, and they trying to roll over that money. And I think that a lot of the times we thinking, this is what I'm saying. This is how I know that it's got to be something about another year because. If it's my I don't care about rolling $34 million over. That's not my problem if I'm getting fired.
Right.
I'm trying to make sure I secure my job. But I think that in a strategic way, they're thinking about guys that they want to be able to afford next year or guys that they want to be able to keep. And if they can't roll over all of that $34 million, then they have to make some really hard decisions on letting some people that they want to re-sign or maybe want to keep on this team go. And I think they're trying to play the long-term game here and think that P.J. Walker is, somebody corrected me, he's 1-1 as a starter, but 2-1 as a Browns player. I think they feel like just what he was doing as far as him going to Seattle, being down 14 points and bringing the team back, I think they really feel like they can grow off of that. And they really feel like the locker room is behind this kid. So I think that's why they feel like they're comfortable, at least through Arizona, and they're praying that that Deshaun comes back next week.
Well, Tyvis apparently thinks all black quarterbacks are the same.
By the way, that's a nice thesis statement here. But I'll also go to this. Yes, you want to have a big time approach, and you want to look at the totality of everything. You want to make sure that you're fiscally responsible. You also want to make sure that you can field a good team for the not today, but for the long haul. But the problem with that is the macro is cool, but the micro really affects people in the locker room. If I'm Myles Garrett and I have that level of talent, and I've been putting out that level of talent through bad teams, through coaches, through all this good stuff, and I see P.J. Walker out there, I'm gonna say, look, man, I'm in the prime of my career. Joe Thomas played his life, he played his heart out for the city.
Yeah.
Joe Thomas was a walking Hall of Famer. And the Cleveland Browns punted year after year after year, never got nobody to help him, wasn't serious about winning. And Joe Thomas got that gold jacket, but he can never get that time back.
I feel like I hear what you're saying, and organizationally, I see what you're saying. But you've been in the locker room. You will respect a guy that you see every day that's working his butt off, and he's doing all the extra things. And even in the moment of defeat, he still is fighting to try to bring this team back. You can respect that as a player. You'll get behind it. So I think that's what, as a player, like, I think they've grown accustomed to, like, listen, man, he might not be the greatest thing ever, but this dude work hard, he busts his butt, And he does have the ability to make some plays. He got to clean up certain things, but I see this young dude working, and I can get behind it. I can respect that as a player. So I think from a player, locker room standpoint, I don't think they're all the way upset about it. But from an organization, if you're looking like big picture, like, yeah, you want one of the best quarterbacks. You want a quarterback to come in here that everybody who can make all of the throws. But at the end of the day, you got to go with what you got right now. And right now, the only thing they know is P.J. Walker and DTR, who they've been with this entire season. So they've built that bond with him because that's their guy now. I know because I listened to the post-game interviews.
Tyvis, let me jump in here because I am beyond pissed at the Browns right now. And I have defended the Browns all season long. I've defended the organization. I've even been accused of being an apologist, which is crazy after years of killing the Browns. I like a lot of things, believe it or not, I like a lot of things about where the Browns are as an organization. And in a lot of ways, they're in better shape than they've been in a very long time. I think Andrew Berry's a decent GM, decent. I think Kevin Stefanski's a pretty good coach. The problem is you were the only team in the NFL yesterday that is over 500 that traded a player away for a draft pick. All the other teams that traded players away for draft picks are 500 or worse. In fact, they're all worse except for Minnesota did trade a player, and they're a 500 team. Now, what I have heard time and time again, first of all, so many people wanted the Browns to trade for a quarterback. And since the deadline happened, and I put out a video that I was pissed, and I put out a podcast that I was pissed, and I'll say it again here. I'm pissed. And I keep hearing this, what you just said, Tyvis. Well, they must think Deshaun Watson is just about ready to play. He must be doing better, blah, blah, blah. G. Bush said it. And he's 100% right. There is no way that the Browns can let's say they're expecting him to play against Baltimore. How could they? How could they possibly be expecting him to play against Baltimore when 13 to 12 days ago they thought he was ready to go, and after 5 throws, they realized they had to take him out of the game because he couldn't throw. He had a month before that. So then he went in there, he got hit again, he looked like crap because his shoulder's not right, and 3 weeks later, after that, he's now going to be ready to play against Baltimore? I don't see it. And as you said, G, and you're 100% right, even if he does go against Baltimore, I'm still going to be worried that it's going to happen again. The idea of him playing at a winning level is low. Now, ultimately, to win in the playoffs, and this has been the other argument, well, the Browns can't win anything significant without Deshaun Watson. And that's probably true.
That's what we
Even if they had gone, at this point, the best guy they could have gotten was Jacoby Brissett. And with Jacoby Brissett, are the Browns winning a Super Bowl with Jacoby Brissett? I doubt it. It's very unlikely that you could win a Super Bowl with a quarterback of that caliber. But there's something to be said for Jacoby Brissett giving you, in my opinion, a way better chance of making the playoffs. And if Deshaun, let's say, if you have Jacoby Brissett, I would feel way more confident in saying, Deshaun, we'll see you in 6 weeks.
Yep.
And we'll see. Maybe he can come back for the final 3 games of the season. But we can rest him because I know that Brissett at least can give me serviceable NFL quarterbacking play. P.J. Walker cannot. He couldn't in Carolina. He couldn't anywhere else. That's why he's been on 82 teams and practice squads and the XFL and the CFL and the UFL and the Lingerie Football League because he's not good enough. He has been absolutely awful. And we could talk about the record all we want. P.J. Walker, it has nothing to do with the Browns being 2-1.
At all.
At all. You cannot really play worse than he did over the last 3 games.
The turnovers,
it's nearly impossible to play worse.
The turnovers kill you, boy.
1 touchdown and 6 turnovers. They won in spite of him. It had nothing to, if anything, he made it harder for them to win. And if they had Jacoby Brissett, there's almost no doubt in my mind that they would have won 3 in a row, not 2 out of 3. And the fact that they did reportedly try to get him, reportedly offering a 6th-round pick, tells you they wanted him. They were just not willing to go the extra mile. Now, the report that Washington wanted a 3rd-round pick, no way, nobody was trading a 3rd-round pick for Jacoby Brissett. Washington knows that too. But isn't there a space in between a 6th-round pick and a 3rd-round pick that they could have found the balance? Washington blew it up. They traded their 2 best two of their best players. Jacoby Brissett's on a 1-year contract. Of course they would have traded him at a fair price. And the Browns were, in my opinion, it seems like, unwilling to go past the 6th. That's ridiculous.
And to throw on top of that, this, if you look at this situation in a vacuum, you might let it ride. But look at the whole entire quarterback picture. In the beginning of the season, and I know people always say, well, no one cared about Josh Dobbs when they traded him. First of all, that's not our responsibility. We're worried about who gets traded or what happens. But what was the reason you traded him for a 5th-round pick? Like, what was the burning desire? You could have kept him, you could have kept DTR, and you could have rolled with those two guys. But you got cute, you traded Dobbs, you elevated DTR. Then when you put DTR in the game, you didn't even give him any ammunition to protect yourself. Didn't have him ready to play.
That's the part that bothers
so
me
now
most.
you got to go to the XFL scrap heap, get PJ Walker because you didn't do anything to get DTR ready, and then you're looking around trying to go back and get Dobbs or Jacoby Brissett. And by the way, if you like Jacoby Brissett so much, and here's the way I thought about it, if Jacoby Brissett did a great job and understood his role, he understood what it was to be a backup to Deshaun Watson. He did a good job while he was here. Why not look at Jacoby Brissett and say, listen, I want you to stay here because Deshaun Watson is not guaranteed right now. We don't know either through his play or what's happening. We always got a spot for somebody that's able to lead the locker room. So you could have kept that.
But you know the answer to that.
Why? Money?
Because everybody's always looking for the younger and cheaper guy. That's always why.
So does that mean that
if you know that if the play is equal or the same or a little bit under, they always gonna take the younger and cheaper guy.
Sometimes that comes back to bite you.
Clearly.
And it has here.
Clearly.
Because Jacoby Brissett, listen, nobody thinks Jacoby Brissett's a great quarterback. He is what he is, but he knows what he is. Jacoby Brissett knows what he can do and what he can't do.
McNuggets, do you know his Brown stats from last year? Do you happen to have that?
I do. Jacoby Brissett last season on the Cleveland Browns in 11 games went 4-7 as a starter, completed 64% of his passes for 2,608 yards, threw 12 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Okay, so that's the part right there that I like the most.
I mean, think about that.
It's all as a backup right now. If between DTR and PJ Walker, the defense has been doing so well, except for the last 2 minutes of the game, been doing so well that if you just don't turn the ball over,
if the Browns,
it will really help out a lot.
If the Browns, I believe this year, and obviously you don't know for sure, but I believe this year, and again, I'm no big Jacoby Brissett fan, but I think if Jacoby Brissett had played this year, the Browns might be 6-1.
Talking about for the whole season?
You had gotten,
all season,
I agree.
If you had gotten the way Jacoby Brissett played over his 11 games last year, they're probably 6-1 because he did not 6 turnovers in 11 games. Is pretty good for a journeyman quarterback on a team.
Well, we knew that coming in.
That had no. Remember how bad. I don't care about his record. Just like I don't care about PJ Walker's record. The Browns' defense was trash last year.
But I think the one thing, and it's gonna sound crazy to say because it shouldn't be this way. But I think that the Browns organization is young too. I think like the people upstairs is young. And they're learning as this thing goes on. They think that they can make shortcuts to it. And they finding out that you can't. Like last year, we sat here and said, you can't go into no season with no defensive tackle like that. You'll get destroyed. Right. And they learned that they need a defensive tackle. So what did they do? They went out and addressed the whole defensive line this season. Yeah. This season, I think they're learning we need a backup. You can't go in without a veteran backup quarterback. Right. So what they probably gonna do next offseason, have a veteran backup quarterback. But right. I think it's just a learning thing for them.
Go ahead, Mike. You want to jump in?
Yeah, just real quick. You mentioned the wins and losses and quarterback wins as a stat or not.
Yeah.
Just to give you just to end any notion that wins and losses a quarterback stat alone, Jacoby Brissett in his career has thrown 48 touchdowns, 23 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. He's essentially on the dot a 2-to-1 touchdown to turnover quarterback. 2-to-1. It's pretty good. His career,
and the completion percentage is not great, but it's serviceable.
And so with a 2-to-1, one sec, with a 2-to-1 touchdown to turnover ratio as a starter, He's 18-30 in his career. PJ Walker has 6 career touchdowns and 18 career turnovers.
Yes.
The
And he's 6-4 as a starter.
The craziest thing about all of this
Yeah.
is that the receiving core this last year is essentially the main 3 guys is still Amari, DPJ. Well, it was DPJ.
No, it's better in theory.
right.
Yeah.
He had 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
With that, we
Right.
have 5.
He has 12 touchdowns. Now, he did have Nick Chubb, which they don't have this
That's true, but we
did have
have
Nick Chubb.
5 total passing touchdowns on the season. He had 12
It's just
in 11 games.
at 11 games.
Yeah.
at some point, as a Cleveland Browns fan and as a Cleveland Browns organization, they're gonna have to, they remind me of one of those people that sell like Amway and pyramid schemes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so then they're vague about, hey, come meet me. And then you get there and then you're selling some different products they want you to sell. And then they sign you up and they give you 200. They say, write 200 names of your family and friends and go sell this overpriced stuff too. Right? So pretty soon you become a pariah. People don't want to talk to you because you're always hawking these little products that nobody really wants.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Browns because they amp you up and they be like, oh, we got this plan going and we got this thing where we're going to give you some leads and you know what? So what we lost? You know what? No matter. Look at the bright side. We got these picks, these assets, and we still 4-3.
Oh, the picks.
We're right where we supposed to be at. And you're like, no, you're not.
The picks don't do y'all. Obviously, the picks they ain't never really did a lot for us.
Ever.
So the picks, we all over the picks.
Yeah.
At this point, we know y'all not. I don't know why y'all value picks all this time unless you're gonna package them picks and get players for them, like trade for players.
Yeah.
But if you're actually gonna take those picks and draft. Like, that's where the problem lies because y'all ain't really. I don't get me wrong, y'all done hit on a couple over the past couple of years, but for the majority of them,
Cedric Tillman, Siaki Ika have been
inactive.
These guys are 3rd-round picks. Anthony Schwartz, he's on the street somewhere. Like, these guys, David Bell doesn't touch the field. He's
active, though.
These guys don't play. So when you sell us on a 6th-round pick, we're like, okay, who's that little scat back from UCLA we used to have?
Demetric Felton.
Felton, yeah.
So you want to draft a bunch of Feltons?
Yeah.
So we're not going to be wild by that.
And we're going to get to that in a second because let's go to Mike first. Then we're going to talk about trading DPJ for a 6th-round pick. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about DPJ. And as Bull, you mentioned, they're the only team. Cleveland was the only team with a plus 500 record that traded a player away for a draft pick. And we'll talk about that trade in 1 sec. But tonight at 7 o'clock, guys, another edition of Behind the Glass. Myself, Anthony, and will be breaking down the Browns trade deadline moves, what they did, what they didn't do. We'll talk a little Cavs, a little more in depth than we'll get to today because we have a prolonged period answering your fan questions and telling you guys some behind-the-scenes stories about Jay Crawford not being here this week. Now that changes our procedure, so make sure y'all tune in tonight at 7 p.m. for the next edition of Behind the Glass.
By the way, one other thing. This Sunday, I know we've been talking about this for about 2 months.
The Muni Love.
But this Sunday, it's
Yes.
finally happening. G, are you going this Sunday, or are you not going to be able to go?
Yes, I'll be there.
G. Bush, myself, Mikey McNuggets. Mikey's always at tailgate
I'll be there.
every
I'm
game.
in.
But G. Bush and I will join him, and we will be causing havoc. We will be, I don't know, maybe throwing things at other people's tailgates. No, I'm kidding.
We'll be
I'm
down
joking.
there. We're gonna do a big.
If you want us to come visit your tailgate, you got to do 2 things. 1, let us know. Email Mike, email the show, send us a DM, send us a message on Twitter, send Mike and slide to Mike's DMs, let us know. And make sure you have food for us. We're big guys, for crying out loud.
We'll try us.
We want to go to and try everybody's food. So everybody, we will see you. We're going to be down at the Muni Lot, and that's the story.
I'll be giving some gear away too. So if you're down there and you meet us, you get an opportunity to get some Kool-Aid Mafia merchandise. Got you some barbershop gear.
Are you going to turn the radio on at about approximately 11 o'clock?
At 11 o'clock, I'm gonna be. You can come watch me at West 6. Because guess what? At 11 o'clock, G. Bush is on the tailgate.
Oh, you're on this week?
Yeah.
From when to when?
I'm on from 11 to 1, and I'm giving out.
Well, I'm on
They
from 11.
stepped up, huh?
And I'm giving away some gear down there too.
All right, so what time? We'll be there early.
We'll figure out if he has to
figure
be
it
at the West 6 by 11. We're going to be there early, but
We'll
we'll
be down
chat
there
about that.
early.
We do have to discuss, though, the one move the Browns did make, and
Yeah.
that was sending DPJ to Detroit for a 2025 sixth-round pick in return.
That's a key pick.
Bull-
Huge pick.
Bull hates the whole thing. I personally think the Browns did him a solid.
Well, I'm not in this business to do solids, okay? I'm in the business to win football games.
Yeah, you ain't paying them and you ain't utilizing them.
Well, they are utilizing him. They're just not getting the ball because they have terrible quarterback play. That's part of it. Some of it's on him,
even
sure.
when Deshaun was in there, he wasn't getting the ball.
Before the show, I said the Browns are a worse roster today. Listen,
Yeah.
Is DPJ a big deal? I'm not saying he's a big deal.
Ask the question to G.
Do the Browns have a worse roster today than they did yesterday?
Slightly, yes.
Of course,
Thank
slightly
you.
yes.
Y'all
Thank
are
you.
sick.
And Earl and Tyvus completely out of pocket.
I said it's the
saying
same.
No difference.
I said it's the same.
Why?
Why isn't it?
He was starting for you.
So you didn't use him.
So if he was starting for you, that means somebody below him wasn't better than him.
Is that the case, or was they trying to make sure he got in there to utilize him to get his trade value to go up? Because
What trade value? He wasn't going to ever be traded for anything.
You know how this thing is.
I
Strategically, I got to put him out there because if he makes some plays, that's good because now his stock
Donovan
goes up.
Peoples-Jones
and I
was
can
never
trade
going to
him.
be traded for anything special.
Tyvus did his game against Seattle. You can
That-
see his stats on the screen. Did that help or hurt his trade value?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
The game before that, he had a game.
The Browns have had. Listen, Donovan Peoples.
Who
Who
is
is the only?
range?
Who? Donovan Peoples-Jones had how many yards last year? 800 something.
Last season, 839 yards.
Anybody else on this team have 800 yards in a season besides Amari Cooper recently? No.
Yeah.
So you could say he's played. His production has been way down.
Okay.
But he's played 80% of the snaps.
He's ranked
80%. To
he's
say
ranked
they're not any worse.
205.
Nobody said they're
Listen,
significantly worse. But they're slightly worse.
Cedric Tillman has been inactive for 2 weeks.
Well, what does that say about him?
Listen, hold on, listen. Cedric Tillman been
Yeah.
active for 2 weeks. Him and DPJ's production has been the exact same in 2 weeks.
All right.
What was the difference?
So my thing is, so that was
So what? So you traded away a guy who plays 80%, but his production is the same as a guy who's been inactive for 2 weeks.
You're
But I
talking
could get a
about- you're
pick for
talking
him.
about 2 weeks.
Why would I? Why wouldn't I?
A pick.
Why wouldn't I?
An undrafted.
I'm not gonna pay him. Why wouldn't I?
An undrafted free agent is probably just as likely to make a team as a late 6th round pick from the Lions. I mean, is there a significant difference
That's not
there?
true. That's not true.
I'd like to see the stats on that.
That's not true, actually.
How many late 6th round picks are making significant inroads on a team?
A lot of them make practice squad.
look, man. Look, you know this is tough, man, and a lot of people flip flop on what Andrew Berry does. I mean, he has some head scratchers, though, man. Like, for the simple fact of Donovan Peoples, and I'll give it to him. Do I think he's some great receiver? No, but one of the things you can say is he's dependable. The locker room likes him. He's a kid that does it right.
We not in here for solids and all of that. We in here for production on the field.
Well, you
Well,
just
what
said the same thing he said about PJ Walker.
And y'all grilled me for it.
So
why can't I grill
Right,
him?
but DPJ in
has
his career.
proven it more than PJ Walker.
DPJ in his career has been a way better wide receiver than PJ Walker's been a quarterback.
I don't know about that.
What?
And the Browns.
That's an asinine and absurd statement, Tyvus.
That's crazy.
and
I
sometimes,
don't know about that.
If you go down the ledger, look at it this way. As a GM, at some point, we keep talking about we in cap purgatory. We got to pay these guys. We got to pay these guys. The reason that becomes a huge thing that you got to pay these people is because you're not hitting on guys that are supposed to be replacing these guys.
That's right.
So if you look at Nick Chubb, he's past his prime. You didn't draft him. You didn't draft Denzel Ward. You didn't draft Myles Garrett, Batonio, or Teller. Teller. These are your best players. You got a Martin Cooper on a free agency. You got Elijah Moore free agency. Juan Thornhill free agency.
These was trade.
Well, these when
You said how they acquired them?
yeah.
Oh, they traded them for them.
So here's my thing.
So you need them picks to trade.
Wyatt Teller?
Juan Thornhill was free agent.
You said Amari Cooper,
Mark Cooper, they got
Elijah
for trade.
Moore.
Yeah, trade. This is trade.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But here's the thing.
So your best two is through. So if you know that I can't draft for nothing, and I can trade for something, wouldn't you want to get more
But
trade picks?
those players are more expensive.
That's right. And G is 100% right. We all the time, Jason and Jay, we're always with the cap. The cap only screws you up if you screw up your draft picks.
Yep.
If you're consistently replacing some of your high-priced guys with good draft picks, then the cap doesn't kill you.
And the people that are mad at Deshaun Watson, they went out and paid $230. If you wouldn't have missed on Baker Mayfield, you would have never had to get Deshaun Watson.
If you would have drafted Josh Allen.
You can't miss at number 1 overall quarterback.
Who knows that the development that Josh Allen? First of all, who thought that? Who was our OC at the time, quarterbacks coach, when that was taking place?
Don't remember. They've changed them so many times.
So who was to say that guy would have got the same production out of Josh Allen?
But it's the consequences, though. The Bills got Josh Allen on a rookie deal. They developed him. They could spend money elsewhere. The Ravens did the same thing with Lamar Jackson. If you miss in the top 5, you're going to have to go out and overpay for a lot of other different stuff. They've missed on receivers in the 3rd round. They've missed on defensive guys in the 3rd or 4th round. And in the 1st round, when you do that, you have to pay for high-priced free agents or you trade assets for those free agents who then cost more money. So that's where we are with the cap. So for me, yes, Andrew Berry, you did some things, good things with Emerson. However, where can you point on when he's drafted? Where is the superstar at?
Emerson.
Emerson's the best player they've drafted.
He's the best player they drafted.
Who's the second best player they've drafted?
DPJ was in that conversation.
Who? Give me
the second best player.
Who's the second best
so
player?
how many drafts has it been?
DPJ was in that conversation. I'll
at
pull up
this
their
point,
draft
maybe
picks.
J.O.K.
It could be J.O.K.
Grant,
It could
did
be
he draft
Delpit.
Grant Delpit? He drafted
Yeah,
Grant
it could be
Delpit.
Delpit at this point.
Huh?
Whatever happened to Greek?
It could be
Williams?
Delpit, I said.
Is he
Out of the
still
league,
playing? He ain't on no roster.
Let me tell you, and this is devastating. You say Emerson is nice. I like that. But in that same period of time, the Seahawks drafted 2 guys that are better than him.
Who?
The Seahawks young corners, both of them better than Emerson.
Well, one was drafted in the 1st round last year.
Okay.
So you didn't have
Tariq Woolen was a 7th round pick.
and Tariq Woolen was a 5th round pick.
And he's nice.
He is good.
Yeah, very nice.
I take Emerson.
That's not what I be seeing.
I take Emerson. Emerson going up against number 1 receivers and shutting them down.
I give him Emerson, but what I'm saying,
Woolen. Now I will say Woolen does get his hand on the ball.
yes,
Not this season, but last season he did.
No knock to Emerson. All I'm saying is there are other people that are drafting not only good, but they're getting more. So they got 2 corners for the 1 corner you got, and you took.
Well, one was in the 1st round.
Okay.
In fairness, the Browns didn't. The Browns drafted Greg Newsome, and he's a decent player.
Yes, he's a decent player.
Yeah.
But we've missed way too much, and when
They
I
have
say,
missed way too
And what I'm saying,
I don't.
defensively,
Listen, outside of after the 3rd round, it's really a crapshoot.
Sure.
So we don't act like just because you can go point
But
to
you
an
can't-
example. You can't go through 32 teams or 31 other teams and be like that 4th through 7th round pick hit for all of
But
these
in the
teams.
end,
That's not the
Tyvus,
case.
If the Browns end up in cap hell, yes, if Deshaun Watson ends up being a bust, it's a disaster.
Yes.
Because he's a bust.
Yes.
But most of the teams with high-paid quarterbacks, it's not a disaster unless you totally screw up all your draft picks.
I agree. In the first 3 rounds, I agree.
And I'll be like, look at.
I mean, that's the key. The best time to do it is get the quarterback on the rookie deal, and then you can go out and do everything
right.
else.
And now, look, who recently spent on their quarterback? The Bengals, the Chargers, the Ravens. Let's think about those 3
And
teams,
the
right?
Eagles.
And the Eagles, okay?
Which I don't know how they finessing they cap like they do.
And they've got to now they can't screw up their draft picks. So the Ravens had to, they traded away Marquise Brown, right? So what do? They drafted Zay Flowers. Well, it looks like they got it right with him.
Yeah.
Oh, they got to definitely
Right?
got right with that.
The Bengals had to let both their safeties go.
Yep.
Who was their 1st round pick this year?
The Bengals?
Yeah.
There was a safety.
No, it was Murphy at Clemson, wasn't it?
No.
Who is Murphy?
No, they drafted a safety. I can't think of his
And
name.
he starts, don't he? He starts.
He's
The
in and out with
Bengals
Nick
drafted
Scott.
a safety in the 1st round?
I think so. Double
No,
check.
they drafted Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
Oh, that's my bad. They drafted safety in the second round, right?
Does he play?
He hasn't been playing, no.
Okay, so they might have missed.
But here's the thing. They're so deep up front,
Oh, okay. So
Guys
there
have
we
a
go.
chance. Remember,
There
Dax
we
Hill.
go.
Dax Hill didn't play last year.
Yes, he a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Now he's starting.
Well, he got no choice.
Well, but he's playing better now. You had a chance to sit and learn. That's fine. But by year 2, you got to see something.
We got all this. We got all this off of DPJ and Cedric Tillman. At the end of the day, the productivity
That's
for
right.
both of them this season is the
PJ
exact
Turner.
same. So I don't
PJ
care what
Turner was
y'all
a
talking
corner.
about.
They drafted Battle.
Miss me with all of
Battle's
that.
the safety up
Y'all,
there.
the same 2 people that sit here and grill DPJ in the punt return game.
Yeah.
Y'all,
I don't like-
we're significantly,
But here,
we're slightly worse because he's gone. And y'all sit here and talk about this man every single Sunday.
That's true. But listen, the reason he's done nothing in the passing game is because their quarterback plays trash.
No, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
The reason that he ain't did nothing in the passing game is because he can't get separation
Well,
from
then
no
how did he get
corner.
800-something yards last year?
Because he was a big body receiver.
Well, why
Okay,
can't he?
well,
Did he get
Because
skinny?
they all over him now.
Did he get
no,
skinny?
the reason being, the reason why he can't get open this year because the Browns don't have a run game because Nick Chubb isn't there. So what is linebackers doing?
Their run game's
Wait a
been
minute,
adequate.
be quiet. The run game. Listen, as a linebacker, I'm not worried about giving up 2 or 3 yards on no run. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop back in my hook drop and I'm gonna play this dig that he loves to run. So if a linebackers there and their corners all over him, how the heck you gonna get him the ball? Because that's the best route he runs is the dig.
It's fair enough.
So stop it.
That factors in.
Y'all need to cut this
But
out.
Wait a second. If Deshaun Watson was balling this year, you don't think DPJ would have better numbers?
Yes.
Of course. Maybe not as good
What
as
was
last year.
What was DPJ's
So I was
numbers
gonna say,
in
it's
the
very
Titans
interesting. So
game?
Deshaun's best game was Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was also DPJ's best game. He had 5 targets, 3 receptions for 50 yards.
Okay.
I listen.
It's decent.
50 yards is an 850
Oh,
yard
Amar,
season.
why is it? You can't necessarily keep saying this all.
This is
Elijah Moore has been actually open. He just can't get the ball, which we see that.
Travis,
We
nobody-
can't say the same thing about
We're
DPJ.
not saying it's all on the quarterbacks, but that's a big factor.
Let me ask you this.
Amari Cooper still lead.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Amari Cooper's a much better receiver than these guys.
Why is it? It just seems like a systematic problem to me. Every year, I got to come in here and talk about Kevin Stefanski and receivers not getting the ball. It doesn't matter if you OBJ, Jarvis Landry, DPJ.
Amari Cooper never said that.
Well, look, if you predetermine, you throwing the ball.
You know why? Because he can still win his one-on-one route.
No, you know
that's
why?
why.
You know why PJ Walker cannot go through a progression. You know that. You
That's
understand
a fact.
He cannot go
That
through
is
a
a
progression.
fact.
PJ Walker could be like, "Oh, Mark Cooper's here.
Yep.
He's getting the ball, no
Correct.
matter what coverage it is."
That's correct.
So, hey man, hey, listen. If you're a one-shot Dillinger,
I tell you what.
Yeah.
We gonna find out.
Yeah.
With DPJ going to Detroit,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna be a number 2 like
No.
Bulls say, but he gonna get some spin.
But-
he gonna get some spin.
He's on
And
a
they
better-
throw the
a better
ball out.
offense with a lot of
better
weapons.
offense. They throw the ball. He got more weapons around.
Yeah.
If DPJ finished the season with 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, I would say that's a good season.
Even that might be a lot to ask because he's further down the depth chart, but
400 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I mean,
it's possible. What is it? 9 games left? It's possible.
they have a bye this week. So we played what? We're 8 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
They have 9 games left.
They have 9 games.
Yeah,
left.
9 games, 400 yards.
You know.
It's not that hard.
The frustrating part about this is watching the Browns is like looking at your life when you used to be poor and was trying to go from job to job. Like the struggle is just, you just get tired of struggling. You get tired of eating ramen noodles. You get tired of eating Fruit Loops and generic cereal.
But no matter how rich or poor you get, you still eat some ramen noodles. From time to time.
We could go
Time
back
to
to
time,
them. I could always hit that button. But damn it, just let me get.
You don't want to have to. You want to.
Yo, you don't want to have to, but
You don't wanna-
you never too good to open up a pack of noodles. I got them at the house.
Can you win some games with PJ Walker? Yeah. Can you eat ramen noodles sometimes and it'll be okay?
Listen,
but that is not a constant diet.
The bottom
that you wanna live
line on the DPJ thing. Is it a big deal that they traded DPJ? Of course not.
Thank you.
Of course it's not a big deal.
Thank you.
It's just what it signals. On trade deadline day, where other teams tried to get better, the Browns did not.
The Browns
Facts.
tried to get better.
Well, I'm sorry. While other teams got better,
There you go. It's
the
all
Browns
fine.
did not.
They punted
The
on
Browns are the only team over 500 that got worse. Ever so slightly, but they got worse. Go ahead, Mike.
We're going to do something fun here next that we have not done before, but a quick reminder that at 12:30 to 1 o'clock on Fridays, we head off of YouTube and over to WKYC TV for 30 minutes of never-before-seen Browns coverage. Leading into that Sunday's game, this week it's Cardinals, so it'll be 30 minutes of brand-new Browns-Cardinals content. Bo will be hosting the show. First time hosting a top 20 TV market show in his career, and we cannot wait to see how Bo does in that, so make sure you guys join us on Fridays for 30 minutes of never-before-seen coverage. So we have talked a lot about the quarterbacks, and we've talked a lot about P.J. Walker here. And there have been a lot of tumultuous quarterbacks throughout the history of the Cleveland Browns as they've returned to Cleveland. So I figured, real quick, we're going to run through these quickly. Where does P.J. Walker stack up against some of the other quarterbacks in the back of the infamous jersey?
Mike, before you do this, I think we didn't talk about this before the show, but I think we need to quickly discuss, or even just say for a minute, whether we want P.J. Walker or DTR to start this week.
Oh no,
We're going to find out today.
I want DTR to start.
I do too.
I want Dorian Thompson-Robinson to start as well.
Here's
Because
what I
y'all
know.
shouldn't have did him like that.
I know
Y'all
that
dead
P.J.
wrong.
Walker is not good. I know that DTR played poorly in a game, but I don't know that he's good or not good.
No, what you know is this. You
talked
know,
about it yesterday.
you know at the end of the season that P.J. Walker is probably gone.
Yes.
But you are going to keep DTR for at
That's
least
right.
the next 2 or 3 years, and I need to find out if he's good enough to stay as a backup, or do I really, truly do need to go out and get a veteran quarterback as a backup?
Now, again,
That's what you need to find
as
out.
we mentioned yesterday, Tyvis, none of us are in practice.
Right.
And maybe in practice he's a disaster.
Could be.
If he's a
that's
disaster,
the case, do what you
then you got to
yeah,
stick with P.J.
right.
Walker. But if he's shown any signs of anything, as bad as P.J. Walker has played, I would definitely start DTR.
Definitely.
So we're all in agreement.
And they
We
got
talked about it yesterday, too,
Yeah.
in that last
Yeah,
20-minute
yeah.
segment. So
Go ahead.
All right, so this is real simple. Run
Yes.
through these. We got 8 of these, or 9
Now,
of these.
what's the exact question? Or would we rather have this guy or P.J. Walker?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have their career stats. This is their total career stats, not just in Cleveland. Because
Are they
PJ
all
played
since
so few.
99? Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, these are all quarterbacks since 99. I
A lot of
excluded
bad ones.
I excluded the obvious ones who you would take over, like Derek Anderson's not on here. We don't take Derek Anderson. So these are some of the ones I thought.
You
we'd
have
have a
Baker
little
on there
fun
or
with.
no? Baker's
No,
an
we don't
obvious
take
one.
Baker.
Timothy-
Even
We don't
I
take
would
Baker.
take Baker over.
So
I'm taking
these are some of
Timothy.
the ones with a little less of a track record. And we'll
Okay.
see how bad, I guess, P.J. Walker and his short stint here in Cleveland has fared up
This is
against
gonna
how
be-
you guys view some of the other ones. So this is P.J. Walker versus the Ghost of Cleveland.
Did you say? Wait, did you say this is their career stats?
These
or
are their
this is-
career stats,
Okay.
yeah.
These are P.J. Walker-ish players, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
Go ahead.
start.
Oh my
Would you rather
goodness.
have P.J. Walker or Ty Detmer?
I knew that was going to be the first
Ty
one.
Detmer.
Lord.
That is bad. That is bad. Oh, that.
I feel like I'm going to be biased by the stats. I almost don't want to see
I always don't
Yeah,
want
the
to see it either.
stats, a lot of these guys have played a lot more.
Yeah.
So just take that into consideration.
Today, you talking about today's game with Kevin Stefanski as the
Man.
coach?
Who would you rather have?
P.J.
I'll
Walker.
take Ty Detmer.
No, give me Ty Detmer. I ain't playing around. with
P.J.
him.
Walker.
35 interceptions, 34. At least he 1-1.
That's but that's a career though.
Hey,
I need to see what it was in Cleveland, man. This ain't
that's
fair.
74.7.
This is not fair.
It's worse.
It's
His
terrible.
percentage is worse
It's
in
bad.
Cleveland. He's 1-6.
He's no.
I don't know what Ty Detmer is in Cleveland.
Ty. All right, I'll bring it up.
You want their Cleveland stats as well?
Yes.
I'll
I'll
get
clean
that
his
up.
locker out for him.
In Cleveland, Ty Detmer threw 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Oh, I'm Ty Detmer.
Completed 51% of his passes.
He only played 5 games for the Browns in '99 and only started. He only threw 91 passes.
So very similar.
4 touchdowns on
statistics.
91 passes is not bad.
Ty
Yep.
Detmer.
Detmer.
Give me Detmer too.
All right,
This is
next up,
sweet.
we're gonna
Yep.
move through these. Would you take P.J. Walker or Deshaun Kaiser?
Oh, wow. I remember that guy.
Oh my!
He was the
goodness.
worst.
He would throw you. He threw
Oh,
you 4.
my
That guy
goodness.
was the starting
Deshaun Kaiser went 0 for 15 in Cleveland in 2017.
By the way, the
and
Browns
22
drafted-
of those 24.
You know what? I'm going with P.J. Walker
By
off
the way,
strength.
the Browns drafted him in the 3rd round, I think.
Second.
Second round.
2nd round. Oh my God! And
P.J. Walker.
he won, I say in air quotes, the job in camp that year.
Yeah,
they were
but
so bad.
I was there. That was the year
And
I was
that
there.
kid-
OTAs.
We might have. I was at there
I
every
was
day
there at OTAs that
broadcasting.
Remember,
I knew you.
remember they played Tampa Bay and Josh Gordon came out and, like he was suspended, kept getting suspended. He came out and dominated against the Buccaneers. and he was throwing jump balls to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And Terrell Pryor.
He kept feeding.
It was him,
yeah.
Terrell Pryor, and old boy Coleman.
Corey
Coleman.
Another high draft pick. That
And we
First round
was
pick.
like, oh, this going to be crazy. And then they were like, no.
I'm
And
taking
Corey,
PJ
and like
Walker.
Corey Coleman, Deshaun Kaiser's out of the NFL already.
Bye.
PJ Walker.
We may have found somebody that I would take PJ Walker over. I think I'm taking PJ.
Is that a
taking-
clean sweep for
yep,
Walker?
Yep, I'm taking
Yeah.
PJ.
All right, next up, PJ Walker or Johnny Manziel?
Oh, I take PJ.
Come on, stop.
I take anybody on the planet over Johnny
See
Manziel.
that this ain't fair because is Johnny gonna watch tape or not?
No, he's
No.
not.
Never-
Well,
You know good and well.
That's not fair. Like
Give me PJ.
I'm getting PJ.
At least PJ wants to win.
We'll have a good time
at
with
least
Johnny.
Johnny don't care.
Yeah, PJ.
Stop. Yeah.
Even though Johnny, by the way,
That's
this is
crazy.
how bad PJ Walker is.
Talk to him.
That his stats are worse than Johnny Manziel's.
Think about this. Think about this. Johnny Manziel didn't try.
No, he did.
He told you, I'm going to the club in a mustache and a fake nose.
He said he coming to the game. He ain't watching
I'm
no
coming to-
tape, and
I'm
I'm
coming to
playing
the
backyard
game.
football.
I'm coming to the game on no hours sleep, coked up.
But there's something about this. Kyle Shanahan was his OC.
That's crazy. 74 QB
So
rating.
you send this to Jay Crawford and tell him this. Send that
Actually-
about Brock Purdy.
Actually,
that right there was his
actually-
OC, and his stats ain't bad.
Actually, I'm switching up. Give me Manziel.
Yeah.
No, because Kevin Stefanski's the OC. We talking about
His first game he ever played against the Bengals
Was the worst game I've ever seen.
that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
That was the worst thing. And I was a Manziel fan.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bad, bro.
They played that game. I thought the
was the
Bengals
worst
were
game
going
I've
to kill
ever
him.
seen,
Yo, I gotta go back and watch it now.
No, it was horrible.
I don't remember.
Oh my God!
I don't remember.
That
it.
was the most painful thing I'd ever seen. Next,
We spoke about this man last week. How about PJ Walker or Brady Quinn?
Listen, let me start off, fellas. Let
very
me talk to you
anti-Brady
real quick.
Quinn right now. But
Hey, I take a
You rather have
Chihuahua. I
Brady-
take a Chihuahua over Brady Quinn.
I agree.
I take a
I
Capri
agree.
Sun half full over Brady Quinn.
I agree.
I would take an edible cherry thong over Brady Quinn. Kick rocks, no. Peace out, homie. You weren't good when you was here. Listen, you got Pantene Pro V in your hair. You got golden locks down to your back. No, Brady Quinn. I don't like your spat. I don't like what you do. And why you got eye black on? You're not a fullback. No. Bye.
Brady, listen, I love your sister Laura. Shout out, go Bucks.
Pause.
Love your sister Laura.
I can't say that. You can't say I love your sister.
Sister, what? She's married to AJ Hawk, and I see them every February.
Okay.
And like they have a party and whatnot at that. Anyways, love your sister, but yeah, no, I'm taking PJ. Walker.
I got to go PJ Walker too.
Clean
Before
sweep.
we go on, are you surprised with how many guys you've taken PJ Walker over?
No, they're all.
No,
terrible.
it shows.
How
This
many-
is really bad on the Browns.
How many PJ Walkers the Browns have had?
All right, next up, PJ or Kelly Holcomb?
Call Kelly.
Kelly Holcomb.
Easy.
Kelly
Easy.
Holcomb.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
what
I'm saying Kelly
Hey,
Holcomb.
Kelly
Kelly Holcomb probably have us in the dang bowl.
Hey, Kelly Holcomb, listen, him and Tim Couch was going back and forth.
Yeah.
When Tim Couch was like, hey, Kelly was slinging that thing.
Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Kelly.
He knew. Hey, Kelly was, hey,
I was young and I know that.
he
Kelly
get in that,
Holcomb.
he get in that teacup formation. Kelly Holcomb would come off the bench and give you 300 quick. I'm like, dang, he got 300 that quick. Don't even know where he came from either.
All right, we got three more before we move on to our next topic. What up, PJ? This is one of my personal favorites. Or Seneca Wallace.
Seneca.
Come on.
Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace.
Yeah.
Don't
I'll
do
take
that.
Seneca.
Don't do that.
I mean, I don't know that Seneca's much better, but he's a little better. I'll take Seneca.
PJ or Charlie Fry?
Charlie Fry. Oh my God.
Fry.
Charlie Fry.
Really bad.
Damn, Charlie.
I ain't
But
know his-
again,
this is all.
Think about this. As bad as those numbers are, across the board, they're better than
What
PJ Walker.
I still need his.
You want his
Brown.
Cleveland numbers?
Yeah, give me the Cleveland numbers.
In Cleveland, of those 17 touchdowns, 14 came in Cleveland.
Okay.
Of the 29 interceptions, 23 came in Cleveland. He completed 62% of his
Ain't
passes
that big of a
in Cleveland.
difference. Ain't that-
He's taller, got a bigger arm. Give me Charlie Fry.
I'm going to show a little love for PJ. I'm
I
taking
think
PJ
I might
Walker.
go with PJ too, though.
They're equal trash. No offense.
And last but not least, PJ Walker or Luke McCown. And before you ask, Tyvis, Luke McCown threw 3 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
So you saying Luke, not Josh?
Luke, no,
Yeah.
Josh is an easy.
I'm
Everyone would
definitely
take
take
Yeah,
Josh.
I'll take
Justin,
Josh.
Luke.
He's
You said what was Luke's Cleveland stats?
He was 0 for 5 as a starter, 3 touchdowns, 7 picks.
I'll take Luke McCown.
He's 71% completion. Yeah, give me Luke. QB rating, yes.
I don't know about that.
PJ
I don't know about this.
PJ gives you 3 a game. Either a strip sack and 2 picks.
That's true.
Mix it up, two strip sacks and a pick.
That's
tip
very
pick,
true.
Or a strip sack.
Yeah,
Like he
listen.
gives you 3 a game.
Listen, man. Maybe you know what? Phil was my teammate with the Colts. I'm going with Phil.
That's his name?
You going with Phil?
Who's
Philip
Phil?
Walker.
Philip Walker.
Oh.
Oh, if he starts and plays terrible, he's getting his nickname.
That's the first time you said he was your teammate.
I didn't know that.
I said when he was a rookie with
Yeah.
the Colts, I was with the Colts for that training camp in that preseason.
Did you get to know him at all?
I talked to him a couple of times, but offense and defense live in
Yeah.
2 different worlds.
Nice guy?
Yeah, he was really cool guy. Really cool guy. I really liked him.
Tyvison played for half the league.
I did.
Like this dude,
No. I played for a third of the league.
That's like he'd be like, yo, I
no,
was
fourth.
Hey,
Excuse me, fourth.
That's crazy.
Hey, listen, we've been rough on PJ Walker, deservedly so. He's not a very good player, but to make it to the NFL and the way he's made it to the NFL, kudos to him. Sometimes we all get carried away and you crap on a guy. I keep trying to not call people garbage and stuff like that. He has accomplished something that millions of other people would love to be able to accomplish,
And he's made some nice throws.
and he plays his ass off.
He does.
he made
does.
some nice throws.
Listen,
Tyvison.
at the
He's
end of
just
the
not good enough.
No, that's
it.
not what it. What it is he turns the ball over because he
Tyvus,
does a
damn
good
it.
he does a good job of driving the ball
But
down
Tyvus,
the field.
there are a
which
lot of
is-
throws in the intermediate range that he just
Ooh, just
way
miss
off.
it.
He do be skipping.
Or
He has
not-
no
or
touch.
don't
He
see
looked
the
like
person,
Deshaun last year off the 6-game suspension.
Even worse.
Little bit, slightly
We
worse.
in trouble.
But he's skipping the ball for sure, like he's skipping rocks.
That's terrible.
Speaking of rocks, let's go to Mike.
Thanks, Bull. I have an update for you and to read. Mary Kay Cabot just tweeted that no Browns quarterback will speak to the media today, and they will address tomorrow.
DTR.
Whoever it will be determined tomorrow, but no Browns quarterback will speak to the
That
media
means
today.
when do they practice, Mike?
today.
Later this afternoon,
And when does Stefanski speak?
1:45
Does he speak after or before practice?
before practice.
D.
So
Maybe
we
they
will
don't.
hear-
Do the players normally come out before Stefanski?
They usually have player availability. Stefanski practice.
That's why the players are not speaking.
Yes,
quarterback.
Taylor Heineke is starting. I got another quarterback to start this week. Yes.
Let me do a read real quick, and then we're going to talk about something
I'm sorry, let me
that-
just finish my thought real
Yes.
quick because Stefanski's going to probably announce who the quarterback is. That's why they don't want to have the quarterbacks out before that. So go ahead.
Yes, which means tomorrow we will have a full day to break down whoever the Browns starting quarterback is. But if you want to score, you better head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS right now. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's literally no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And you can become the next Jacob Ross, who won $200 on a $10 bet on a 4-part same-game parlay on the Browns-Seahawks game. He had Njoku anytime touchdown score, Amari Cooper over 50 yards, Njoku over 40 yards, and the Browns with an alternate spread of 6.5. And he made all 4 of those things come true, turned $10 into $200. So you can become the next Jacob Ross if you bet with FanDuel as well. Guys, as we get ready for Arizona, something the Cardinals have done a lot throughout this season is run the read option. It's been a prominent part of their offense. Head coach Jonathan Gannon comes from Philadelphia, where that had been a prominent part of their offense. And so far this season, that is the one thing the Browns have struggled to stop. I went back and looked at 2 games in particular to which teams used the read option very effectively. Against Baltimore, and you can take this full, Steve, the Ravens ran 6 to 7. It depends on how you...
You mean the Cardinals?
No, we'll get to the Cardinals. The Ravens
sorry.
against the Browns. They ran the read option. This is me tracking. If you want to tell me one of them was a read option and not a design read, okay. But they scored 2 touchdowns off at Lamar. Both his rushing touchdowns came off a motion, a fake handoff, and Lamar scooting into the end zone against the Colts. Gardner Minshew is not known as a mobile quarterback. Torched him. 5 carries, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Arizona, if you go through and look, you watch any of their games, it's a prominent part of their offense. I only went back and tracked the Seattle game just because I knew they scored a read option touchdown in that game. And in that game, Josh Dobbs, who is no longer their quarterback, had 4 carries on read option plays specifically for 43 yards and a touchdown. That's 10.5 yards a carry. So, Tyvis, I'm not going to say where you played football. We all know you played football at high levels. What adjustments can the Browns make this weekend to try and slow down that part of Arizona's offense?
Don't let Bull talk you out of stuff, okay? First of all, if you can say how you want to say it, don't listen to Bull.
Tyvis, he brings up the read option. Obviously, they ran it with Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is faster than Clayton Tune.
Is he? You know how much? Because Clayton Tune ran a 4.64.
Which is decent.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs ran a 4.4 something.
Did he really?
He did.
Dang.
But to his point, Gardner Minshew, you know what he ran?
4.8.
4.97. You know Joey B ran a 4.9 also? I wouldn't have thought I thought he'd be better than that, maybe.
You know,
Joe Burrow ran a 4.9?
Yeah.
I thought he ran like a 4.7.
Yeah, he got better game speed than with his show.
But still, Clayton Tune is certainly faster than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
So I would think they would still keep that as part of their offense.
Yeah,
That
I
could
mean,
change it.
I don't think it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be a very simple game plan. It's a rookie quarterback. You don't want to overwhelm them. So you're going to throw some stuff in there to throw some wrinkles in there. Obviously, they're going to do it because they've seen the Ravens and the Colts do it, and then it hurt the Browns when they did it. So obviously, you put it in your game plan, especially if you got a quarterback that's willing and able to do that. But I don't think it's going to be a huge part. But how you stop that is that you have to have your defensive end, because usually when they do this, they let the tackle go up and they read off of the defensive end. Mm-hmm. If the defensive end crash down, you pull it and you run. If he comes and attacks the quarterback, he gives it. So in this situation, how you do it is you got the defensive end has to come down the line, put his hand on the tackle like that, and he got to stand there and read it. Or it's 2 ways. You could do it like that and read it that way and then chase the ball. Or you can have it assigned to where you'll have that defensive end crash down and you'll have the linebacker scrape over the top and take the quarterback. So it kind of kills the whole play.
Right.
Let me give you Tyvis. That was a nice assessment. I like how you played that. But there are another way he didn't mention how you stop that.
The great defensive line of the Cleveland Browns.
So what you do is when they run read option, you take it as disrespect. You say your defensive end, no matter what, I don't care if he hands the ball off. You go put your helmet in that quarterback's chest and try to destroy him. They won't run it no more. Like, if you
I get what you're saying.
you run a read option and you think you're going to get cute, I'm not even going to play that run. Maybe we'll have somebody else assign that. But I want you to run through that quarterback. I want you to, they may give you 15, but this ain't college. They won't eject you. We'll take that 15, but I guarantee there won't be no more of that.
That's the question that's going to be asked right after you say that as a coach. You got my fine?
I got that.
Oh, it's happening there. It's on.
Like
that's the number one thing. You pay my fine?
Hey, run
for sure. I got you.
Here's the thing. They may be up in arms. I've never understood why people don't do this.
Because they don't want to get fined.
Because
you can't touch the quarterbacks like that. You blast that quarterback like that.
I thought he had the ball.
Well, that's 15 yards and an automatic first down.
There
So
you
not
go.
only are you hurting, you're hurting the
I'm
defense as
cool
well.
with that.
You're
I'm
hurting,
fine with that.
especially if you had just so happen. If we know you're gonna do that, let's do it on 3rd and 20. Let's do it on 3rd.
They ain't gonna run no
Let's get an automatic first down.
They ain't running no read
Why
option on
not?
3rd
They're gonna
and
run
20.
straight through. So we're gonna get an automatic first down.
They're not running that.
3rd and 20. Let's run it.
Let's take a look at this.
That's
play
what
right
I
here.
do.
Tagwood froze.
Oh,
Got a frozen tag board.
but here's the thing. Nobody wants to put their starting quarterback in harm's way. No, especially during the end of the season. So if they're coming up there,
They ain't got nothing to play for.
There's really nobody on Arizona's offense that scares you.
Marquise Brown.
He scares you?
Speed always scares you.
All right.
If you line up against Marquise Goodwin, you wouldn't be scared?
I would because I'm slow, but I'd probably just tackle him. But I probably couldn't.
You couldn't catch him.
No.
Yeah.
But the Browns have corners that can play with him. You look at, James Conner is hurt. He's not playing. He's on the IR. He's their best back. They've been going with this young guy, DeMercado. I think it's Amari DeMercado.
Ain't the name Eddie?
Eddie?
Yeah, something like
No,
that.
DeMercado.
I think it's
I know.
Amari.
Is it Amari?
I can't.
I know who you're talking about.
It's Amari DeMercado.
Didn't you just pick him up in fantasy?
I did pick him up.
Someone we could ask about that is
Yeah.
Darren Urban, who's been covering the Cardinals
Darren's
for
with
24
us
years
now?
now, and Darren is ready to join us to end this wild debate of how to pronounce DeMercado's first name. What's up, Darren?
Is it Amari, Darren? Is it
How are you
get it
guys
right?
doing? It is Amari DeMercado.
Yeah, it was interesting as James Conner got hurt in the game against the Bengals, and actually James Conner was having a great game. He was really that game might have been different had he not gotten hurt. Don't you think? Because Conner was playing, I thought, really well. I was watching that game. I thought Conner was having a hell of a game that day, and then they couldn't run once he got hurt. Is that fair?
James Conner was having a great season when he got hurt. Probably better than a lot of people thought he might. So, yeah, I mean, I think his loss has absolutely impacted this team. I mean, obviously there's this roster isn't where they want it to be right now. They're waiting for Kyler Murray to come back. There's a lot of things in flux with this team right now, but it's clear that once James Conner got hurt, that changed some things. Now, I do think Emari Demercado has shown some flashes as an undrafted rookie, but he's shown patience. He's shown burst when he needs to. But right now, this team is missing in a lot of areas, and part of it is the quarterback play. Josh Dobbs just got traded yesterday, but ultimately, this is the storyline of this season has always been, what is it going to look like when Kyler comes back, and waiting for Kyler to actually make his return. So we're close to that point. We'll see what happens.
Is there any chance the Cardinals surprise all of us and go with Kyler this week, or are you 100% certain it's going to be Clayton Tune?
I don't know if I'd say I'm 100% certain. The way it's kind of worked out with this whole thing, when Kyler Murray returned to practice, he got all the clearances that he needed to get to, but Jonathan Gannon was waiting for Kyler to say, okay, I'm comfortable enough in my rehab now that I can get back on the field. And obviously, as we've seen the last couple of weeks, the health, I mean, he hasn't had a practice designation the last 2 or 3 practices in terms of needing an injury designation. Now, obviously, he had one for the game, so he could stay on the PUP list. But, I mean, we're right on the cusp now of him potentially playing. And I think at this point, the question becomes, does he come back this week or does he wait the one more week? And they have until next Wednesday, the Wednesday after the Browns game, to put him on the active roster. Do you wait one more week, give him a couple more days and another week of practices before you put him on the field, which would be home against the Falcons? And I think right now that's the question. Their offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing, and I know you guys know him from his time with the Browns, Petzing was making the point, like, at this point, when you add in, like, what he missed in OTAs and everything over the summer, he's just getting to what it would have been if he had gone to training camp on July 28th to this point in his practice. So I could understand if he or everybody else would want him to have maybe one more week of prepping in this brand new offense, which he had never played in until 2 weeks ago, before he gets in a game.
We kind of have I wouldn't say a similar situation of a quarterback being injured and not really knowing when he's going to be back. I think it's a little different because you guys obviously don't have the expectations. And like you said, he hasn't even been in this new system. In terms of Kyler Murray, in the previous years, there was always, I don't know if the entire fan base embraced him. He started off one year very well, kind of, faltered in the playoffs. What is the temperature in the fan base on Kyler Murray, especially after getting a big deal coming off the ACL?
I think there's still some in the fan base that are wondering about what he can be and all that stuff. But I also think there's a lot of intrigue right now because the way things ended with the Cliff Kingsbury era and how that was all going, I think there's a lot of people that want to see Kyler in a different offense and see what that actually means. It's not like Kyler played poorly when he was playing. He made the Pro Bowl a couple times. He was the reason that when they were winning a lot of the times that they won. The offense was a little disjointed. I don't know if it totally necessarily worked on the NFL level with what Cliff Kingsbury was trying to do. And Kyler made a lot of plays all by himself. So people, I think, want to see him in more of a structure and kind of see where this goes. Obviously, does he have a ton around him at this point where you're like, it's not like Brock Purdy in San Francisco where he's got all these playmakers around him at this point. That'd be another reason potentially to wait another week for James Conner, because I think James Conner is eligible to come back after the Browns game. So you mentioned, I heard you guys talking about Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
He's he's had a great year. It doesn't look like it in the stats. Unfortunately, Dobbs and he weren't able to hook up very often with Dobbs struggling down the field. But I think Marquise Brown has played an excellent season, and Michael Wilson is a really good rookie receiver. So what Kyler looks like when he's put in this offense, I think everybody's very curious to see what that looks like.
Darren, we were sitting here talking about, Arizona's defense, and it seemed like y'all got rid of a lot of good guys. Like y'all got rid of Murphy. Last year y'all traded the corner, or not the corner, the linebacker / safety to the Giants. Simmons, Isaiah Simmons. Who is the impactful guys on the defense now, and who gives the Browns a real threat, and the Browns should be worried about?
Well, I think it's safe to say that they're trying to get to a point where their defense is the whole is better, the sum of the parts is more than the individual parts. I mean, you still have Budda Baker, who's one of the best safeties in the league, and I think he still is, and he's been back a couple weeks now from a bad hamstring injury. And they also have Jalen Thompson in the secondary safety, who's a very good player. They don't have a whole lot of names. They're kind of trying to do the pass rush by committee thing. They moved Zaven Collins from inside to outside linebacker. There's a lot of young guys who, quite frankly, aren't going to scare a whole lot of people from the outside, and I understand that. And they've had to piecemeal their defensive line together, and they were doing that anyways, and then they lost two of their top guys to season-ending injuries. So I think right now their defense is trying to work mostly on scheme and effort alone. I've been impressed with that part of it. They have not let up very much. I mean, do they have the manpower? I don't know about that, but I do think they've made some strides in terms of the effort and the want to as games go on. I mean, it would be real easy for a lot of these guys to be mentally struggling right now with as bad as the record is, and you really haven't seen that in the games. I think they have lost games in most part because their roster just isn't as good as most teams that they play.
Darren, I'm curious about Trey McBride, who, was a guy that people have been talking about for a couple of years, and he had a big breakout game this past week. I think he had like 15 targets, 10 catches, close to 100 yards and a touchdown, I think, somewhere around there. If you're a fantasy football guy, are you buying in on Trey McBride the rest of the year, or is this a one-game anomaly? What do you think about him?
Well, I mean, Trey McBride, second-round pick last year, hasn't gotten a ton of run because Zach Ertz is here, but now Zach Ertz is on IR, and I think this is kind of the changing of the guard to get to Trey McBride. He was arguably the best tight end in college when he was coming out that season, although not a lot of people knew about him at Colorado State. He's probably a better receiver than blocker, but he's gotten better at blocking, and I do think he's got a lot of talent as a receiver. And I don't know if he's going to give you 10 catches for 100 yards every week, but I do think he's got the chance to be a very effective tight end, and now getting that chance with Ertz on the sideline, I think that's going to happen. I think we're getting to that point where the Cardinals need to look at some of these guys and see, McBride's a guy who came in before the current GM, Monty Ossenfort. This is where you want to kind of see where all these guys are, if they're part of your future, or what else you want to do, because obviously the Cardinals have a ton of draft picks and high draft picks next year.
Darren, let me ask you this question. Usually here in Cleveland, we always come from our perspective of whether we view a team as a beatable team or a winnable game. When you guys have Clayton Tune at quarterback, is making his first start, do you believe that with him at the helm, this is a winnable game for you guys? What is the thought process when you're coming to play Cleveland? Do you feel like this is a winnable game, and the Cardinals in the locker room, they feel like they can win this game?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I would assume that every player would go into a game thinking they can win this game. I mean, this team did beat the Cowboys earlier this year with essentially the same cast of characters. Now, Tune, if he ends up playing, which obviously a lot of people are kind of making that jump right now. I mean, he's a rookie. He hasn't played in a regular season game yet, save for one pass. And, that's a tall order, especially against a defense like Cleveland's and a defensive line like Cleveland's. But he did get a lot of run in the preseason. He didn't look too bad there. I think at this point it's a week-to-week process. Whether they feel like they can beat Cleveland, I would assume so. It's a road game, a difficult road game. But I've also seen enough times, and I kind of saw it with the Cowboys game. Like, I would almost reverse that. Like, where's Cleveland's head going into this game? Are they assuming that they're just going to roll over a Cardinals team that has one win and a rookie quarterback? Those are the kinds of games that can change on a dime.
Last thing, Darren, we were talking about this before you came on. You know, the Browns defense overall has been really good, but both the Ravens and Colts had a lot of success running read option. And obviously with Lamar Jackson, he's a great, but Gardner Minshew's no great athlete. In fact, Clayton Tune ran a way better 40 time than Gardner Minshew did. The Cardinals have run a lot of read option. While Tune may not be as good an athlete as Josh Dobbs, he's still a decent athlete. Do you expect to see that remain part of the game plan?
I would expect it to remain part of the game plan if Tune plays, but at the same time, it's really hard to get a handle on what this could look like or how it could change with a brand new quarterback. I mean, like I said, Tune's only played one snap, and it was a fake punt on a fourth down. So you don't really know exactly what they're going to want to do. But I do agree that Clayton Tune is a pretty good athlete. I do think he can run that play if that's what they ask of him. He's a big guy, so it's doable. Obviously, as you guys were saying before I came on, you are exposing your quarterback to harm's way, but that's kind of where you are as an offense, and I do think that'll be in the game plan, yeah.
By the way, one last thing. I was watching the end of the Cardinals-Ravens game because obviously we were hoping the Ravens would lose, and the Cardinals were making that kind of wacky comeback at the end. I think that onside kick that the Cardinals got, the second, they had to do it twice, second one obviously failed. I don't know if anybody else saw this. Obviously you did, Darren, and I did. That first onside kick by Matt Prater that the Cardinals recovered was one of the best onside kicks I've ever seen in my life. Right? I mean that was amazing.
It was executed really well, and we all know that it's really hard to get an onside kick. In fact, I believe that's the only successful onside kick in the NFL this year.
Yeah, not a surprise.
It's been so hard to do. So, look, it would have been nice had they been a little bit closer at the end because the first three quarters were a slog last week for the Cardinals, and obviously they're hoping to play a little bit better overall in Cleveland.
Darren, thank you, man. We appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Darren Urban covers the Cardinals, and there you go. We got a new game, guys.
We do have a new game. I'm very excited to play this game. Before we do that, I need to tell the good people of the world that tomorrow the barbershop is back. We missed Monday's barbershop because G. Bush wasn't feeling well, but he is back in the chair and back ready to dominate the barbershop game Thursday at 3 to 4 p.m. Make sure you guys tune in to the barbershop on the UCSS channel on Thursday from 3 to 4. G, we're glad to have you back, my friend.
No doubt, man.
So are you guys ready to play a new game here?
Let's do it.
This is called I Know, I Think, I Doubt. I'm going to give you a statement. Each one of you has 3 of these. I will give you a statement, and you tell me if you know that to be true, you think it could be true, or you doubt that to be true.
We don't get to all answer each one?
Well, I'm going to ask it to you specifically, then we could all discuss.
Ah, gotcha.
So we're going to go in order. And G, you're up first with the first ever I Know, I Think, I Doubt.
Okay.
The statement is, if Deshaun Watson isn't vintage Deshaun Watson again this season, the Browns will still make the playoffs. Do you know that? Do you think that? Or do you doubt that?
It's a good one.
That is a great one.
Thank you.
Because the word vintage can be broken down into so many things.
If he isn't good,
if he's not good,
he can't play at a winning level, right? Is that what you mean?
I doubt it. I doubt it. The reason I doubt it is because they had an opportunity to go get a quarterback that could have given you average. I think I advocate going back to DTR, but at the end of the day, I just keep asking myself, DTR in Baltimore, PJ Walker, Baltimore, and even Deshaun Watson going into Baltimore with half an arm, I doubt it. They need to find some competent. I actually think the best way that they make the playoffs is if DTR plays a couple games and then they start developing a game plan around him because he has a higher ceiling, but I doubt it.
Tyvis, what do you think?
Well, I think after Nick Chubb went down, it was all based on how Deshaun Watson was going to be in this season. And if he's not going to be there or he's not going to play at a winning level, I don't really see it. I mean, I know they've been doing it the past couple of weeks with P.J. Walker. If Deshaun doesn't turn the ball over, they win maybe. But if he's not throwing touchdowns, like the way that they've been winning is not a recipe that's going to help.
Hard
them
to
get.
sustain.
Yeah.
The way they're
Right.
winning.
So I doubt it.
I almost wish there was a category between I think and I doubt. I
Right.
wish there was something in between.
I'm
there.
not giving you the cop-out.
No, I know. I'm going to have to go with these guys. I'm hesitant because
Right.
I think with their defense, there are enough winnable games on the
Yeah.
schedule that they, you know what? I'm going to stay, even though I'm pissed at the Browns right now, give me the options again.
I know, I think, or I doubt.
I'm going to go be a little positive, even on a day where I'm pissed, and I'm going to say I think. I think they can still make it because I'm like, okay, I think they're going to win. Now, if they lose to Arizona, see ya.
If they lose to Arizona, it's over.
But I'm assuming they're going to win this week. Maybe that's stupid, but I'm assuming they're going to win this week, which makes them 5-3. I think they could get to the playoffs with 10 wins. Now, 10's not going to be easy, and I don't think they can do it if they lose to Arizona. But they have the Bears. They have the Steelers at home. They're getting bad quarterback play, too. They're playing a lot of teams the rest of the season, outside of the Bengals and the Ravens, that don't have great quarterback play either, and Jacksonville, that don't have great quarterback play. So if in their final, they'd be 5-3 if they win this week, right?
Correct.
They'd have 9 games left. If they can go 5-4 in those 9, it's going to be tough. It's hard, but it's possible. I'll say that. Go ahead.
Next up, Bull, you're going to start with this one.
Okay.
And once again, these word choices are very particular.
Yes, you're right.
Right now, we look at Dustin Hopkins as one of the best kickers in football. So my statement is we will still look at Dustin Hopkins as a very, very good kicker when the regular season ends. Bull, do you know we will? Do you think we will? Or do you doubt we will?
I'm going to say I think again, because although it's a much stronger think than with the Browns, last one. I got reason to believe in him. He's made some kicks in bad weather. I can't say I know because kickers outside of 1 or 2 guys are very frugal, or frugal's not the right word.
Yeah.
They're hard to predict. You have kickers that are like can't miss, and then they miss a few and they fall apart. It happens all the time. That Brett Maher of the Cowboys was great for much of last season. Then he fell apart and he's like done. So we've seen that time and time again. So I'll say I think that he's going to be really good.
I'm gonna say I know. That guy hits more field goals and he saved a lot of games. And to me, I think that's something that's going to consistently be there. I think they finally got hit the nail on the head and finally got a kicker that can win them games. So I'm gonna say, to be positive, I'm gonna say I know.
I'm gonna say I know because we give P.J. Walker credit for all them wins. Actually, them wins should be going to the kicker. He's been more pivotal than the quarterback in winning some of these games. He's kicked in some bad weathers, and like I said, I like people to be right down the middle. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that when Steph Curry shoot free throws, it don't hit nothing. It's just go right down up through the basket and hit the floor. That's exactly what I like when my field goal kickers. I don't want to be guessing. And he's been doing this thing this year. I'm going to go with I know.
All right, next up, G, we're going to start with you. Myles Garrett is going to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. Do you know that? Do you think that? Or do you doubt that?
Well, I know that because here's how it is. So basically, in this industry, and we don't vote on these things, but we know a lot of guys that do get a vote for this stuff, and how they operate is purely on narrative.
Well, not all of them, but there's I don't think we, some guys I think actually do the work. Well, you're right. I agree that a lot of them.
Like LeBron could have got an MVP 5 years in a row, but they were like, well, we can't give it to
10 years in a row.
Well, we can't give it to him 5 years in a row,
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And so now, like Joel Embiid, Joel Embiid was supposed to be. They're like, well, he was close last year. We didn't give it to him.
That do be happening.
Let me go ahead and give it to him. Let's give it to you. So they already gave Bosa his. T.J. Watt got his. This is the coming of Myles Garrett. He hasn't thrown a helmet in a while. He hasn't flipped his car. none of that good stuff. So now Myles Garrett, come on. We like your Halloween high suit. If he gets anywhere over 17, 18 sacks, he's going to be different.
By the way, the Seahawks punter used his helmet as a weapon against the Browns last week. Nothing came of that.
Nothing.
What happened?
Yeah.
The Seahawks punter took his helmet off, and he was swinging it.
Really?
I did not see
Was it
that.
the Seahawks punter? Or was it
another,
maybe it was a
another
different game. Was it a different game?
Yeah, that was a different game.
What game was I watching?
There's no way it would have happened, and we wouldn't have seen it.
No,
You're right. I think I'm
Twitter
holding. I got to make sure I'm not crazy. Hold on.
So while he's looking up, Tyvus, will Myles Garrett win Defensive Player? Do you know? Do you think? Or do you doubt?
I'm between I know and I think. I hope so.
It's not an answer. This
know.
isn't the I hope so game
on.
segment. This is the I know, I think.
By the
doubt.
way, it was the Buccaneers punter against the Bills Thursday night.
Yep.
Okay.
That was it. I don't know why I was thinking it was the Browns game.
I'll say that I know because of everything G. Bush said. He talked me into it.
G. Bush is a wise man. I'm with him too. I don't agree that there is definitely a segment of the voting based on these things that goes with the narrative, which is pathetic. I don't want to lump everybody in together because there are guys and women who do their job the proper way.
75%. Yeah, right.
But there is enough.
Well, my question,
and Myles Garrett right now has been the best defensive player.
how are we judging that, though? Because Hunter got 10 sacks on the season.
Who does?
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not just sacks. That's not the only stat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So how are we judging it?
Well, look. So
that's why I said. That's why I'm between.
point.
I'm thinking I know because I don't know how they judge it.
because they'll say, all right, well, Danielle Hunter got the sacks, but Myles Garrett demands the most attention. He gets triple teamed the most. He's the most disruptive. He gets to the quarterback the fastest. They'll if they want to give you an award, they'll make something.
But what if a guy rips off 10 picks?
They can go by PFF grade. They can go by.
I just think it's a lot that go into
All right.
it all.
So what are you going with? I know or I think?
G. Bush talked me into.
Yeah, I know. Okay, next, Mike.
Next up, Tyvus, we're going to start with you. Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach. I know, I think, or I doubt.
Why would you give me this?
Dang, bro.
Why would you do this?
It's terrible.
These are good questions. I'm proud of myself.
Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach. Okay. Unbiased opinion. Not because I'm a Browns employee. None of that.
You're not a Browns employee.
I am a Browns employee.
Yes.
They cut my check for sure. As a matter of fact, y'all owe me one. But anyways,
Come on, Jimmy. You got the money. Pay the man.
you know what? All biases aside, I think he is a good head coach because I just think that just given off of this season alone, the things that he's overcome with the injuries and all of the off the field stuff, to still have his team locked in on Sundays and still able to perform in the way that they're performing, that's a sign to me of a good head coach. You go down 14-0 and your team still fights and comes back and y'all was winning 20-17 in Seattle in a hostile place, I think that's a sign of a good coach. So I'm going to say I think.
G. Bush?
In these positions as a head coach, you're evaluated for a lot of things. How you coach, what plays you call, who you develop, can you motivate people, all those things in the game situations. And to be truthful, if you add all those things up, Kevin Stefanski should have an I know. He should have it. But his in-game situational football is so bad. It costs games. It costs you the fact that you put the ball in P.J. Walker's hands instead of the running game, and it baffles me. I doubt it because it's not,
Whoa.
He went from I
Went all the
know
way to the other.
I doubt it
down.
because it wasn't. This isn't just a 1 year thing. I was mad a couple years ago. My dad brought this up. They were in scoring position. Remember the game against the Green Bay Packers? Baker Mayfield was there. Nick Chubb had ran the ball all the way up the field. All they need to do is go get a field goal to win this game. And he threw the ball 3 straight times. And Baker Mayfield threw an interception. So he doesn't learn from a lot of things. I just doubt it at this point. I think he may be a good coordinator.
I'm going to go complete opposite of G. Bush. I know Kevin Stefanski is a good coach. I don't think Kevin Stefanski. If the question had been, is Kevin Stefanski a great coach? I would have said, I doubt. But a good coach? I think he's a good coach. Is he flawed? Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you dive into the play calling of any coach outside of probably nobody, maybe Andy Reid, you could find plenty of things to be critical of if we were breaking down other coaches like we break down Stefanski. I know he's a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. I know he's good, and I'm not getting rid of him.
We got 3 more, maybe 4 if we have time, but we have 3 more. And Ty, we're back to you. Elijah Moore will have a 100-yard receiving game this season. Do you know that? Do you think that? Or do you doubt that?
Why would you give me this?
I know answering them all,
I know
so
why you gave me this question, and that's what make it even funny. You know what?
It's a man.
You know what? I know. You said I stood and banged the table for this guy. So listen, you ain't gonna let me down. I know at some point you gonna have a 100-yard game. Now I don't know when. I'm hoping. Some game. What is it? 9 games left. You got 9 chances. If you can't get 100 yards, then they might need to cut bait with you. So I'm gonna say I know that he's gonna get 100 yards at least in 1 game this season. Book it.
G?
Again, this should be I know. Based on what we talked about during the season, based on the fact that what people told us in training camp, and based on the quarterback you had, this should have been I know easy.
It should have been.
But I doubt it. Let's go right back to I doubt it. And the reason I doubt it is because think about it like this way. You just got rid of a receiver that was productive last year for free. So he had 0 targets. He couldn't even get targets. So what makes me think that all of a sudden Elijah Moore is going to be just stuffing the stat sheet, especially if P.J. Walker is playing, and especially if Deshaun Watson ain't back to normal. There's no way he gets 100 yards. And it's just not me. I would love for him to get them. Yeah. It's just I'm just telling you what the numbers have been bearing out so far.
Do you know how many games Elijah Moore has played in his career?
I can tell you.
No,
yeah.
I know it. I'm asking somebody to guess.
I'm looking at it, so I won't guess. If you guys want to guess.
How many games has Elijah Moore
42?
played? 42? Close, 34. Do you know how many 100-yard games he has in those 34?
2.
1. Since that game in his rookie year where he had 141 yards in that one big game, I think he's had over 65 twice. And he has not even had 90 yards once.
Yeah.
The Browns have the worst passing game in the league. The odds are that Deshaun Watson, even if he plays this year, will not be at his best. So I think the chances of him having a 100-yard game are probably less than 5%.
Yeah.
So I doubt it.
Well, I'm going with the less than 5.
Let's all hope Tyvis is right.
Yeah, and we hope Tyvis is right.
All right,
Next.
Bull, you're going to be our first answer for this next one. A Browns quarterback will throw 3 touchdowns in a game this season. I know, I think, or I doubt.
I really want to say yes because I'm hoping Watson can surprise us and be healthy. I'm going to say I think. I'm going to shock you here. They got a 1 game, right? They're playing enough bad teams. Like maybe that game against the Bears late in the year. Maybe Watson's like 75% and he's out there. I don't know. Maybe even this week against the Cardinals. Crazier things have happened. I mean, I'll say it happens 1 time this year. I think it's going to happen. I don't feel confident, but I'm going to say yes. Weird things happen.
I doubt it.
Man.
Nothing else to say. I doubt it.
That's really the right answer.
It's funny. When you said that, I turned around and looked at the screen so fast, I hurt my neck again. I was just like, dang, bro, I got to take it easy, bro.
You know what the sad thing is? Before the season, what were you at? What was the
all kind of yards, all kind of. Everybody had.
I'm the only one that's still standing on this Elijah Moore thing.
Yards was coming down like a waterfall from heaven.
Oh my God!
Everybody was going
5,000, wasn't it?
Hey, it's a shame. I can't even ask for 3 touchdowns. You know when the last time? When is the last time a Browns quarterback threw 3 touchdowns? Do we
Baker
know that?
probably did it.
That's a great Anthony. Well,
I'm
look
sure
it up for us
Baker
right
did
now.
it.
I mean,
Baker did it.
Yeah, I don't see.
I mean, think about it. Like we've been anemic
Oh my God!
offensively for decades. Like literally decades before. Like, you know, when you see the ticker and other quarterbacks will be like, oh, he threw for 4 touchdowns. I think
3. When you see 3, it's like
Baker threw 4 touchdowns against Cincinnati. He threw 4 touchdowns against Cincinnati
when Odell was
Odell was out. That's the one I remember off the top of my head. but 3 touchdown passes.
He threw 4 against Tennessee.
That's what I see. As his
The one against the Bengals, he actually threw 5 touchdowns.
Ooh.
Baker.
So, to answer your question, the last time a Browns quarterback threw for 3 touchdowns in a game was December 6, 2020.
Oh, it was Baker.
Baker actually did it 8 times, threw 3 or more touchdowns. Although 4 of them were in his rookie season. 4 of the 8.
Listen, I'm sorry. That's a bad stat. That make us look crazy. Like, to think about, like, that he threw that many times for 3 touchdowns or more, and we can't even sniff that. We ain't even nowhere close to that. We running the triple option.
This
is crazy. That's crazy, ain't it?
We running the triple option.
Hey, yeah, we ain't nowhere close to 3 touchdowns. No, that's crazy. The fact that he threw that many times.
How many times you said?
Hey, you better be lucky Jay ain't here.
As a rookie,
Jay would have been on top of that.
As a rookie, he did 3 or more 4 times. In his second year, he did it twice. His third year, he did it twice. And his 4th year, he did not throw 3 touchdowns.
Dang. Jay would have put that helmet on and would have been twerking on the table.
Wow.
Just twerking shoulders. Just.
Ty, what do you think? Will it happen?
Yeah, nah, I doubt. I said I doubt. Nothing to say. I said I doubt.
Next.
It's not happening.
All right, last one. G. Bush, you're going to start us off here. Pierre Strong is the best running back on the Browns roster right now.
I know.
Oh, a confident I know.
I agree.
I thought you were high on Kareem Hunt.
I like him too. I'm running with them 2 backs.
I agree.
The thing about Pierre Strong is, Kareem Hunt looked like he's labored a little bit because of that quad injury. He's good for two carries burst. You know what I'm saying? Get him out. But Pierre Strong, when I look at the all-22, he has vision. When you want to run a stretch zone play, you can do it 3 ways. You can bounce it, you can cut it up in the middle, or you can bend it back against the grain. He does a tremendous job of bending it back against the grain. He puts his foot in the ground. He goes north-south. He has bursts. He can catch the football out of the backfield. That's why I'm disappointed, once again, that he was playing a very pivotal role in that game. And then in the second half, in the third quarter, we didn't see him no more. And I'm confused by that.
Do you know what Jerome Ford, who do you think had a better 40 time coming out? Jerome Ford or Pierre Strong?
Pierre Strong.
I think probably Pierre Strong.
What do you think they both ran?
4 threes, 4-4?
4 5s.
Pierre Strong ran a 4.37, and Ford ran a 4.46.
That's what I ran. Me and Jerome Ford's the same speed.
That's a significant difference, though, between the 2.
It is.
I mean,
and especially when you talk about the aggressiveness, Jerome Ford, that's why Nick Chubb is so good, because his vision on any even given play, he's going to get you 3-4. And I just like the fact that Strong, there was times where he would press the front side, read color in the hole, which is basically a linebacker and lineman in that gap, put his foot and just cut back, and he would have 4 or 5 yards off top. So I love to see him get the ball more, and that's one of the reasons I want to see DTR on top of that. I think, this is a little ahead of yourself, but I would start DTR, and the same way you talk about using that read option, that would be a big part of what we're doing.
Was I here when I told y'all I think Pierre Strong is the best running back?
I don't know. I've been talking about him for 2 weeks.
Because you said you wanted to see him.
Yeah, because I when I watched the little bit that I seen of him before, like when they made the trade for him, obviously it was like a little highlight clip of him in the Patriots, and I was like, man, he got good vision. Like that's something that you can't, because a lot of running backs get the ball, they tell you to go through the C gap, he gonna try to press the C gap, but this dude got the ball, seen it, was like boom, cut back, like boom, 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 and cut all the way back. He even did it in the Seahawks game last week, and I think it was his first or second carry. He cut it back, and I'm like, that's a great read by him, and he got the speed, and I'm just like, I think he's better than Jerome Ford.
I agree with you guys. I think they should. I don't like using 3 guys that much.
No.
I would use Pierre Strong as my first, second down back, and then Kareem Hunt is maybe share third down time,
goal line,
and then Kareem Hunt be my goal line short yardage guy.
And if they and this is the thing, if they really utilize what we just said there with Pierre Strong, and you tell DTR, look, We're going to incorporate a lot of read option into what we're doing.
Yeah.
Making
Ain't that what he did at UCLA?
He went to play with Chip
Yeah,
Kelly.
he's with Chip, yeah.
And RPO stuff. And that's the thing. I haven't seen any RPO
Well, that's
this year.
what we was banging the table for
I
that
haven't
at the
seen
beginning of this
none
season.
of this year.
It should have been a nothing but RPO game.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Did you guys like that?
Yeah.
Good game.
We'll do it again.
Nice.
I think it'll be a nice little
Why do
TV
we
show
have
segment. We'll
these?
tighten it down.
We're playing
We're
True or
playing
False
True or
next?
False next.
Oh, I didn't know we was playing True or
And
False.
True or False, as always, is brought to you by
By the way,
Behind
I won
Glass,
last
the
week.
#1 producers podcast in the history of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show universe. It is undeniable. Tonight, myself, Anthony, and
First
Earl
and
hopping
only.
on at 7 o'clock to break down everything in the Browns universe. The Browns players are talking right now. If anyone says something, we'll be talking about that. We're going to go way more in depth on the Cavs than we could in today's show.
Pierre Strong.
And that's 7
is the
o'clock
guy we
tonight,
gonna be
Behind the
talking
Glass.
about. Watch.
By the way, I think next time at the end, put a question like, about us or about something
Throw
like
a personal one in there?
Yeah.
Okay, we
at
do
the
that.
end.
We'll
That
do
would
that.
be a fun.
All right, so we made this True or False last week before we had to shuffle around the panel because the Cavs tipped off their season on Wednesday. So we did this after Myles Garrett's superhero performance against the Colts. So we're
Okay.
going to keep this. This is True or False, Myles Garrett edition. And
I
we have
love
some brand new music to play courtesy of Danny English, who watches UCSS, asked if he could make some music for us. We said, of course, Danny.
Wow.
So we're going to listen to some new music from Danny as we play True or False. Steve, hit the new track, and are you guys ready? A little dramatic, a little ominous, make you think a little harder.
I love that somebody created music for this specifically for this segment or just for the show, and you chose.
He asked if he could do something for the show. I said we use the music mostly for True or False.
Yeah.
Let's get a little ominous, a little dramatic in here, and this is what he came up with. I'm a big fan.
Kind
Danny,
of like a horror movie
knocked it,
yeah.
thing. Yeah, I like
Sound like I'm in a house full of dolls.
it. Yeah, creepy dolls.
Creepy dolls.
Yeah.
perfect. He nailed exactly what we asked for. Are you guys
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
True or false? Myles Garrett. Question number 1. Myles Garrett was the consensus #1 recruit in his high school class. True or false? G. Bush says true. Bull says true. Tyvis says false, which means one of you three is going to be right. And the answer is true. He was the #1 consensus recruit
He
in
one
his
of
class.
the three. Two of the
Two
three.
of the
Two of the
Right.
three, yeah.
Yours.
One of you
Once
was
you
gonna
said
be
one
wrong.
of three, I assumed that I was
Appreciate
one.
that.
Yes, no, Tyvis is wrong. He was the
That
#1
wasn't gonna happen.
consensus recruit in his high school class. Question number 2. Speaking of Myles Garrett as a young pup, he broke Jadeveon Clowney's SEC freshman sack record, which he still holds to the day. I even took the number out, so you didn't think I was finagling the number if I was going to do it.
I
I
have
also
no
dig
idea.
this music.
I have no idea.
Tyvis says false.
I'm playing the odds.
Because the first one was true.
No, because it's a lot of SEC
that's true.
dudes. So maybe somebody
Bull
else
says
got
true. G says false. That means now one of you guys will be in the lead by yourself. And
true.
that leader in the clubhouse after 2 questions is Adam the Bull. 9.5 sacks. as a
Can't even
freshman.
get out the
An
gate.
SEC record, which still stands to the day.
it. It's over with. I lost already.
Question number 3. Myles Garrett ran a 4.55 40-yard dash and rep 225 pounds on the bench press 41 times at the combine. I promise you, it's either all true or all false.
Okay.
There's no half off. After Jay's complaints last week,
But it could be. They could one of those things. But both of them could be off by a little bit.
that could happen,
Yeah.
but it's not like one's right and one's wrong. They're either both right or they're both wrong.
He did not run a 4.55. He ran like a 4.6 something, and his bench is in the 30s. Liars.
G. Bush is spot on. He ran a 4.64 and only benched 225 33 times. G. Bush sniffed it out from the get-go. He is correct.
I'm on
And
the
yeah,
boards.
Only is probably the not proper way to
Yeah.
put it.
What's
But
the standard?
He's actually slower than Jadeveon Clowney, but his broad jump is crazy.
What's the standard though?
Anthony?
Bull and G are tied at 2. Tyvis, you were at 1.
Ooh, I'm in there. I'm back.
I mean, there's only been 3 questions.
I'm back. I was out. I didn't get off.
Let him
the
have this, Bull.
board.
What's that?
Question number 4. Let him have this.
Oh, okay.
Myles Garrett holds the fastest sack time in the NFL this season when he took down Ryan Tannehill in 2.27 seconds in Week 3. This stat courtesy of NFL's Next Gen Statistics.
I don't think I put.
And did you make any changes to these answers
No.
since last week? Okay.
No.
His music is fire, by the way.
True.
It is, right?
2 trues and a false, and we have a tie game here, guys. It is false.
Yes!
You know what's crazy?
Look at that.
The
He's
player
back.
who surpassed Myles Garrett is Kaiser White of the Arizona Cardinals, who took down a quarterback in Week 6 in 1.97 seconds.
He's back.
He must have been offside.
Was he blocked?
Back from the
Untouched.
dead.
Untouched.
Yeah, like
Back from the dead. I'm about
It
to,
is now 2-2-2
I'm about
after
to
4
call me
questions.
PJ Walker, baby.
That means he's going to fumble it away in the
Down
last seconds.
two.
Why, you throwing
Down
some turnovers?
two. He back.
You going to throw picks down the stretch?
I just might. If it ended that fashion, really call me PJ Walker.
Okay. Next up, Myles Garrett's older brother played in the NBA for 5 seasons. True or false?
I didn't know he had a brother. Shows you how much. I really don't be doing nothing. This is all really. I swear I might be just the luckiest guy.
Wouldn't we know this already?
False. False.
Well, if everybody go, you know.
Oh, I helped Tyvis there.
Tyvis is going false, so 3 falses and 3 incorrect answers.
Wow.
Myles Garrett's half-brother is Sean Williams, who played at Boston College and was a first-round pick of the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh,
And
you
played in
said
the
half-brother.
NBA for 5 seasons. They
you
grew up in the same
cheated.
house together.
no, you cheater. You can't half this up. You
Half
cheated.
brother.
You want
It's a
half it
brother.
up.
It's his brother's blood.
How did
Same
you not know
blood.
that?
Like, come on, you
Same blood.
Who
They not technically the
come
same
on,
blood.
man.
Same
like,
mother.
Are they the same blood? They have the
They-
same mom?
Same mom.
Then
they
they're
not
same
even.
blood.
They're
Same
not
blood.
even close
Thought
like
they had the
that.
same
They grew up
dad.
together in the same household.
All right, fair enough.
we-
Same mom. Grew up
But
together
you
in the
still
same
should have
house.
said half brother.
Hey, you know what? Where's the picture of him?
Of Sean Williams and Myles Garrett.
Where's the?
Here it is.
If they ain't in the picture together, it's a wrap.
I got a question for you live on Air McNuggets.
Shoot.
So, like, you say half brother or sister if you don't have the same parents?
No.
Well, no, one parent is a half brother.
I just feel like that's your brother or your sister.
no.
So then I'm right. So you like how I worded that question?
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
that's
you.
your brother. That's your
Thank you,
sibling,
yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, thank
but
you.
it's a half. The
Next.
proper terminology is half brother.
Earl, you know. Here's how it works. if it is by the same mother,
Yes.
It is.
It's
yes.
full, yeah.
But if it's by the same father, your father must be in the streets.
Papa was a rolling stone.
Hey,
But
Earl,
it's
Where
mother.
Well, you're on the
laid
camera.
his hat
Is
was
this not a
his
picture?
home.
And when he died,
is this not a picture of Myles Garrett and Sean Williams?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, there's picture proof. You guys are all wrong there. I'm right.
I'm saying, I'm giving you the kudos.
Next,
on it.
next
thank you. Okay.
question.
Where's the picture?
where the tag board at?
Tag board froze on videos
Oh,
earlier, so
Tag board is full of shit right now.
we got a lot of beef with tag board. Trust me.
Go ahead.
Trust
Stop
me. All right,
making me
next
laugh.
up. So we are still tied at 2 across the board. Myles Garrett has never scored a touchdown in his collegiate or professional career. True or false?
This is absolutely false. I can tell you the time he actually got the touchdown too.
False for G, false for Bull, and true for Tyvis, which means if Tyvis is right, he'll be in the lead. If Tyvis is wrong, he's in dead last. And the answer is false. He has never scored a touchdown, which is actually kind of shocking. And it's not a knock on him. Defensive touchdowns are so hard to come across.
He scored
But you
against
would think-
Chicago.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Put that back up.
that back
Mike.
up.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait. He did score a touchdown.
Okay.
He has scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. What a knucklehead, Mike.
It's false that he has never scored because he has scored a touchdown.
He scored a touchdown against Chicago
Yes.
when they had like 5 sacks that game.
Yes, fumble
Yeah.
recovery touchdown against Chicago in 2021. I even made that note.
He
I just
messed
read
that
the
up.
answer
I was
wrong.
about to be like, wait,
So no,
I'm
Tyvis
confused.
was wrong. Bull and G were correct. He has scored a touchdown.
All right,
He
go ahead.
has.
So
My
far,
apologies.
Yeah. that's
The
all right.
the question was worded right. I read it back wrong.
Yeah.
You guys were right. Score update, Anthony.
Bull and G have 3. Tyvis are sitting at 2.
What, we got 3 more?
2 or 3 more. And I have an extra credit question here. Next one. Myles Garrett's favorite dinosaur is a Spinosaurus.
That is a real dinosaur.
It is. And I don't know.
I don't either.
I feel like
True
you
for
either got to like
Tyvis.
Raptors or T-Rexes. Don't nobody really do no Spinosauruses. What is
Tyvis
that?
has a true.
Y'all remember a cartoon named Denver the Last Dinosaur?
Two
you
falses
know this,
and a true.
No.
So if Tyvis is right, we're all tied up at 3 again. And guess what? Tyvis is right.
Oh.
Yes.
And for extra credit, we actually have the list of his 5 favorite dinosaurs. You'll see who can name the most.
Give it.
Nah, none.
And extra credit if it comes down to that.
Well, let's hope it don't, because I'm a loser.
We have one more question, guys. We are all tied at 3. It's the first time heading into the final question.
Why would you like a Spinosaurus, bro?
We have come down to the absolute wire.
This is not the final question.
Is this the final question?
It's the music.
You want 2 more questions? I thought we've only done 6 questions.
No, we've done 7, I believe.
Oh, man.
We've done 7, yeah. Anthony's counting. We've done 7.
Time with no, because
Okay.
I'd rather just lose, because I'm not going to name I don't know no dinosaurs. You know, what I look like.
Yeah, this is the last one. This is
Okay, fine.
question 8, and then we have an extra credit. Or a bonus.
It's over.
True or false? Miles' first career sack came against Josh McCown, who he brought down twice that game.
Let me just
Was
lose.
Miles' first career sack against Josh McCown?
Let me just lose.
Can you tell me who Josh? Can you tell me who Josh McCown was playing for?
Nope.
I can't phone a friend or nothing.
Let me just lose.
You're 50-50, dog. That won't tell me much, bro. Like,
I'd rather just lose.
um,
Because I ain't naming no dinosaur. I'm going to just tell you that right now. The only one I know is the T-Rex. Why would you do that?
False for Tyvis.
Why would you do that?
False for G.
Because if it's right,
So is Bull gonna go crazy and try to get the
True.
win?
It's true.
I hope it is.
The answer.
It's true.
Bull's confident, and Bull is correct. It is true.
I remembered that.
It was
I'd rather
against
just
the
lose.
Jets. And Earl says it was his first snap in his first game.
I
He
remember
took
that.
down
We were
Josh
going wild.
McCown.
I
And was
can't
that
believe
Bull?
G. Bush got that wrong. That stuns me. He has the best memory for Brown stuff.
That's you. Knew,
Of anybody I know, I'm stunned you got that wrong.
You knew you had me when. Well, I'm on drugs right
Yeah,
now.
that's
So
true.
don't.
The drug effect.
Well, Bull, you're a champion.
I'm on drugs.
And for the
like-
record,
I've won 2
anyone-
of the last 3.
would
Nah.
anyone like to know Myles Garrett's top 5 dinosaurs?
Nope.
let's
I'm gonna
see.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what there is.
Triceratops,
That is on the list.
Never heard of it.
A pterosaur.
Spinosaurus,
Spinosaurus,
Never heard
is
of it.
1.
Pterosaur.
Triceratops is 3.
T-Rex,
Not on there.
Raptor.
Velociraptor is 5.
Stegosaurus.
Nope, I've never heard of the other 2.
Brontosaurus,
Anthony, would you like to pronounce 2 and 4 here? Try and say these words.
Bronchiosaurus.
Nope.
Pterosaurus.
Okay,
My
so
son
number
knows every
4.
dinosaur. He would be good at
Huh?
Nope.
Number 4 is a Diplosaurus? Diplophosaurus? And then number 2 is a dino. I don't even know how to pronounce the last
Spell
part.
it.
DEINONYCHUS is number 2. I have
Never
no
even
idea
heard of
what
that
that
one.
is.
Miles told the BCS Bryan College Station Eagle at the Jurassic Park premiere in 2016 his 5 favorite dinosaurs, and those were the 5 he listed in
Very
order.
good.
So,
Hey, them sound like antibiotics.
Yeah.
Stegosaurus tyrannosaurus.
Miles Garrett is a man of many interests.
I never heard of any of them.
Go ahead, Mike.
we're going to do PCC, and we're actually going to talk a little Cavs to wrap up the show here. We're going to do a little PCC first. So we got some Super Chats, and we have some anniversary members to shout out here. But if you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. We're going to get these Super Chats out the way, and then we will look at our one-year anniversary members and then talk a little Evan Mobley for the final minute or two here. First Super Chat of the day comes from Pernell Hobley, and he said we should trade Evan Mobley and Jared Allen for Joel Embiid. Devoid Archangel said the Browns did exactly what the Guardians did at the trade deadline, and still somehow we go down as the best owners in sports. Derek Bryson said, I don't care if Watson was dead. I'm not trading nothing over a 5th. As for DPJ, who really cares? He can't get open or play special teams.
Well,
Donnie Stewart says, I don't trust Watson or Walker. We still hoping Watson can play at elite level, but it's not looking good. Our Mac Dog said nobody forced Andrew Berry to get rid of Dobbs. Brissett and Ernest Johnson were our best backups. The Browns need
I
to
don't really
stop
care about Dobbs.
being
I don't think
so damn
Dobbs is
cheap.
any better than P.J. Walker personally. I don't, but
he's a smart guy.
so is Andrew Berry. I ain't putting him in quarterback.
I mean, he was in your system. I would assume that he would be better than picking P.J. Walker off the scrap heap.
Obviously nobody wanted Dobbs. The Browns didn't want Dobbs, obviously, because They gave up nothing to get him, the Vikings, essentially.
He's been starting in 2 places. It's crazy, right?
Next one comes from DB Dog 21. Remember relationships in the NFL. They traded Dobbs just to do right by him. Petzig called and asked about Dobbs. The Browns traded him because he had an opportunity to start. Mr. 216 said, we should have traded Brissett for a third. How confident is anyone that the Browns will draft a good player versus Brissett improving the offense? Maddie Kamiko says Tyvus is either giggling or coughing. PJ said, M. Bynes said, PJ said Jacoby told him if Amari gets open, throw the ball.
Get her off me, Steve. Don't give her the
Are you
satisfaction.
sick again?
I'm not sick. I've been having this lingering cough for like a month now, but I'm not sick. I just cough. But I don't know.
I haven't really noticed you coughing that much.
Tyvus got tuberculosis, man.
Jeez.
PJ said Jacoby told him if Amari gets open, throw him the ball. PJ doesn't have what it takes to consistently go through progression. Guys are open. I think we actually made a mistake, and Damian Frederick pointed this out. I think Deshaun threw 3 touchdowns against Washington last year.
Oh, did he?
I think he did.
Deshaun threw
We never looked it up.
I think he did too.
We went straight to Baker. I didn't even think of Deshaun, but I think he is right. I'm pretty sure he threw 3 touchdowns against the Washington Commanders last season. And last one, do it for Chubb. Bull went and got stretched out at the massage parlor yesterday. Is that why he's sitting funny?
I'm not sitting funny, but I was a great massage. By the way, believe it or not, so yesterday I did a short
You're stretched out.
Because I get a text. I get a text from I don't know, Steve, our executive producer, is like, Bull, can you do a short about the Browns not making a trade? And I was like, sure, but I was like, I'm about to get a massage. So I decided to do it there, give a little promotion to my friend Aaron, who's my masseuse. He owns a place, Urban Haven Massage. And I know people are not going to believe this, but it's the truth. I didn't even think of the Deshaun Watson thing when I was doing that from the massage place. It actually did not even cross my mind, which is crazy.
Right?
But of course, in the comments, I'm told, I haven't looked at any of the comments. I'm told that in the comments there are quite a bit of Deshaun Watson massage jokes, but it had actually not crossed my mind.
What he say you was doing there? He was getting what?
They said I was getting stretched out.
It is time to give our 1-year anniversary shout-outs to our favorite members in the chat. And by favorite, I mean guys who are celebrating 1 year today as members of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We love everybody, but today is a special 1-year anniversary for 3 special members in Bull.
Yeah.
We want to give them a little
shout-out. Well, let me explain here before you put the names up. Let's just put the names up. Let's do that, too. Yesterday, for those who weren't with us, and where were you? What the hell happened? Well, there was that one Nudnik who said he wasn't going to watch because G. Bush wasn't on yesterday. Whatever that dope's name is. He's back. He never went anywhere yesterday, by the way. He pretended he didn't go. So yesterday was the first anniversary of our memberships. And so I think we had about 14, 15 people that signed up right away, and we congratulated them. But we also want to thank the people that have been with us, even if they weren't with us for the first day, for the first week. So we're doing this all week. So today is the anniversary of the second day that we went to memberships, and there were 3 people that joined us on day 2, and here are the names. John Zenner, Sean Walker, and Shannon Nelson. I don't know any of those people. None of those names sound familiar, but they've been with us for a year, and we really appreciate their support. So we're happy to give them a little love on the show.
Shout out to them, man, for being down with us for 1 whole year, man. And, we turned this in. Hey, by the way, we made this internet thing look cool. Like, a lot of people.
Oh, God.
A lot of people.
How many videos now are the radio stations in town all of a sudden doing?
Everybody got YouTube videos now, bro. Shout out to other people that's been here day 1. We going strong, but, we open the doors for people. We just,
And we're going to talk about the Cavs in overtime.
Yeah.
But we got 5 minutes real quick.
Right.
And just real quick, I got to say something about
what I saw. Can I just promote something real quick, Mike, before you do?
Always.
Please, if you're not subscribing already to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, please do so. There's got to be some of you that watch and don't click on that subscribe button. We're now over 31,500 subscribers, which is a big number. But we want to keep building that. We want to get to 50,000 at some point. That's going to take a while, but we want to get there. So every subscriber helps. So anybody in your life that watches the show at all, If you watch the show occasionally, please hit that subscribe button. You'll get alerts whenever we do a show. And also, please subscribe. G. Bush's podcast is, if you subscribe for UCSS, you also subscribe. Yeah. But you got your own YouTube page.
Yeah, I do. You could just type in the barbershop. Like it's like the X-rated version of UCSS.
There you go.
Like
we wouldn't want that.
It's real over there. We just get right to it, bro. So if you want you want that truth, that smoke, come on over there, man.
And I just started my channel in August, and I'm approaching 2,000 subscribers already.
You,
so please help me continue to build that. Continue to get coverage from everybody else here. So subscribe to The Bullpen with Adam the Bull on YouTube as well. Really appreciate it. Mike, go ahead.
We're going to talk Cavs on overtime. We're going to talk about a lot in Behind the Glass. But with our live audience still tuning in, we got to spend just a few minutes. And real quick, I'll save my big overarching takeaway for tonight. But we said yesterday, is anything you see in this game going to change the way you approach, you appear, you look at the Cavs? Because it's a regular season game. Bull, you've said many times that nothing in the regular season matters for you. You need to see it in the postseason. I know that they had no Garland, no Allen, no LeVert yesterday. They were playing down. Amani Bates was the first player off the bench. Craig Porter Jr. came in and did a hell of a job, but they were down to the bare bones minimum roster of what they normally would have on a healthy day. And give Donovan Mitchell credit because he showed up in a big way and no one else did. And we have to start having an Evan Mobley conversation. But not necessarily just Mobley. The Knicks punked the Cavs last season. Punked them. And last night, we had Jared Allen say the lights were too bright. It was the first chance just to kind of not conquer that demon, but almost stand up to the bully in a way. And instead of even pushing the bully back and calling him fat, whatever's dumb bully insult you would want to do, they turtled. They ran away. They put a tail between their legs. They hid, and it was disgusting to watch.
Guys, you have any thoughts on this?
First and foremost, I believe watching the game, not just saying this to just say it, once again, Dean Wade gets way too many minutes. Dean Wade, if he's not knocking down jump shots, he does not look at his scouting reports. He lets people get to their strong hand. And if he's not knocking down jumpers, he's a liability. So for me, I believe Imani Bates has earned an opportunity to get more minutes off the bench.
Step back.
He played 7 minutes the other day and had a negative 15
They
plus
played like
minus,
16 or 13 minutes yesterday, 13, 14 minutes.
He played.
Monty?
He played best. He played better this game. By the way,
He had 4 boards.
swinging the ball, played better defense. He still has trouble, one-on-one defense, getting out of the picks. But the big thing for me is Evan Mobley. I can safely say right now, within the first 4 or 5 games I done watched,
1 and 3.
He hasn't brought anything new to his game. He hasn't. And here's the thing. This is kind of crazy. Bill Simmons and me was texting, and I said,
"Look at you."
Evan Mobley, this unicorn, he might look like Serge Ibaka. Whoa. And he said he has to start shooting threes.
I'm about to say Serge had a jumper.
And even Serge developed a 3-point shot. And I was like, I'm confused because we were supposed to be getting KG. He was like, yeah, I'm not sure. And I was really high on Evan Mobley. Now,
y'all watch Parks and Rec?
What's that?
No. You guys ever seen Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Gee, we were sold that Evan Mobley was a unicorn.
Yes.
He's little Sebastian.
You guys are giving up on him after 4 games.
We're not
this year?
giving up on him. We just don't see the.
They're being critical.
We don't see the level of progression in his offensive game. Now, don't get it wrong. He still blocks shots and does.
What was he supposed to be working on this year? He's supposed to be working on handling the ball or shooting.
Handling the ball, getting to a pull-up game, a corner 3-point shot at that, being a more physical defense and an offensive rebounder. He doesn't rebound the ball at a high enough rate for what his size is, too.
Real quick thought, Mike, and I was talking about this with you guys before the show. I've said nothing matters in the regular season. I don't really care about the regular season except for one thing: seeing what his game looks like this year.
Yeah.
If Evan Mobley does not take the step forward this year, then this is over. Then if he's just a decent NBA player, and if he's just a defensive guy with a average offensive game, then they're just a mediocre team that JB's going to get fired and Donovan Mitchell's going to get traded, and essentially they're starting over.
And we're going to continue this conversation
Yeah.
in overtime for our members. Shout out to our 3 one-year anniversary members again, John Zenner, Sean Walker, and Shannon Nelson. We appreciate y'all. We love all of you, and we'll
See you on
in
overtime. Except for that one
Peace.
hater, we hate you. I like you. All right, you're all right.